What was that movie? Where like started getting hella more access to his brain and shit.
Oh,
Limitless.
Bro, I really just like I don't even need like the full capacity of my brain. Just give me one that gives me the full capacity of the law. Like everything I need to know about the law
in real time.
bro, in real time. Cause they be so full of shit.
Always.
But it's just too many codes though. Like the codes are just endless. So
yeah. I would, but that, you know what's funny? I didn't realize how important it was to know like the amendments until like sophomore year of college, and I was like, it's like wait, and then they started explaining like the federal conviction rate and all this shit, and I'm like, and we're studying all these cases, right? Dog, the overwhelming amount of cases that are solved per pleas. The federal conviction rate is so high because of the pleas, but you don't know that, and because so many people are either underserved, don't have the access to like proper representation.
yeah, they hit you with
You get these people in there, and you start throwing fucking football numbers at them. The only thing you can do is go, whatever deal is gonna beat that, you got it. And so that's where you see that's at federal. At state is fucked up because of how many people that were first offenders on like petty drug charges. So we're talking about possession, and then that what they would classify as intent to sell was like shit that would be well below an ounce, and they'll classify it with intent to sell depending on how it's bagged up and all the other shit. And you're like, wait a minute. But that's not the fucked up part. The fucked up part is the charges that a lot of first time offenders accumulate their first times being in like some of the most dangerous prisons ever, where all you have is these horror stories and like why you got to defend yourself. So catching charges in jail or being released and being a convicted felon and getting like something as simple as hanging around other convicted felons. Well, nigga, I gotta go home. Can't help that my neighbor who I've lived next door to forever, y'all got like me, and so it's just this intricate sort of systemic oppression that they've been able to hide in plain sight post slavery. Like immediately a lot of those laws were created as in response to the abolishing of slavery.
Yeah, it was just for us having civil liberties and shit.
Yeah.
But like it'd have been. I mean, but that's the thing though, is that we don't. It's not the fact that we want reparations. We just want you to leave us the fuck alone. Like it could be also simple. Like just leave us the fuck alone.
Out of our way, man.
Bro,
what
you ain't gotta give me no money, my nigga. Just leave me alone.
Why do we start the show like that? What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
Lex Buck.
That was not even the hype we was on today.
Contrary to what it sounded like just now, Lex walked in here and turned on Yachty and Drake, and then G walked in here and turned on Jaden Smith, and then me, I had to throw some rich boy on that motherfucker real quick. Throw some D's on that.
All right.
Well, hey, put some respect on Rich Boy name. All you niggas out there right now. I'm just gonna say that like that as we start the show. This is the Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I am LG.
I'm Lex B.U.B.
Oh shit!
We might have one.
We might have one.
That might be the one.
Oh, so
timing was right and everything.
So the dopest thing about a third mic, and the third mic being Lex, how many people have like tapped in and been like, yo, Lex is hella funny, bro. Lex is like, I know. Sal hit me yesterday. It was like, Lex is hella funny. Morgan a text like as he's listening to an episode be like, bro, this nigga's hilarious. And so welcome, bro. Like you've made an impact on the listeners, man.
I know I've been getting chewed out. My brother hit me up and he was like, really? Winston?
Oh yeah, the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I got roasted for that shit.
Yeah, he was serious. He was like, and none of your partners want to bail you out and let you know it was Winston. I was like, maybe they didn't know too.
I for sure didn't know. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I
still don't know what y'all talking Nigga, huh?
Oh man, fellas, talk to me. How were your weeks? How was your week? This is was that week 4 of the lockdown?
Week 5.
That was week 5. Oh shit. So what's been happening to me?
19th? Yeah, it's week 5.
What's been happening to me? Our Monday, our actual Mondays. Like, so tomorrow, I can know, because even though we did the show today, I'm still going to compute tomorrow as like Wednesday or something and freak the fuck out and be like, whoa. And then Teen or somebody's gonna be like, bro, what are you talking about? It's only Monday. But I've done that consistently. But even before the lockdown, just the way how we move and shit, my day, I don't have any like idea what day it is normally. And it's usually the shows that keep me in check, like with different podcasts, different YouTube shows or whatever. Our show, I know it's Sunday. I know it's Sunday, but for some reason that shit just goes out the window. So I'm hoping that tomorrow and this week will be a little bit better, that I won't get to Tuesday and be like, nigga, it's Thursday. No, it's not. It's only Tuesday. Relax. Have y'all experienced anything that is just like completely thrown off from the norm of like the lockdown has you like doing weird shit like that? Anything?
All my shit blur together.
Prior to, or just because of right now?
Even more because of the lockdown. Just because now the traffic's empty. And usually I gauge by when I go to work. Easy phone days is like Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, it's hella thick. Then Friday is cool. But every day it's just easy going. So then my shit, I'll be like, today Friday? What day is it? And I'd just be lost.
Yeah.
So.
And you're still working, huh?
Yeah.
But you're still working too.
I hear being a man of the people. Nah, I ain't nothing changed for me, bro. I know my days by like which day is my workout day. Like I know this is chest day, this is shoulder day, this is just.
They'll be killing us with this healthy shit.
What a flex! I know my days by my workout.
This is my
day.
leg
This is my
day.
leg day. Nigga, what?
I know when I get in the bathtub because my calves are sore. It's Thursday.
See what happens to me on this show.
This nigga living his best life for real. Yeah,
I'm
nigga,
just trying to tell
it's
niggas
back day today, nigga. Man, if you don't stop flexing on this show,
Nah, what I did find though, I found a really good lower ab workout. Really, really good.
What is it? Care to share the secret?
Say what?
Care to share the secret?
I can post it. But I've just been, like I was telling Money, I've just been in like a super wormhole just on the newsroom. And
was it because we talked about it?
Huh?
Or was it because we talked about it?
I mean, that made me think about it again, but then I was just like, giving my anti-ways and not giving a fuck about what's going on in the world in real time right now, because a lot of the shit's like kind of, I don't know, bro. But I was like, fuck it, I'll just go back to the newsroom and see like if I missed anything or if it was like, and really what happened was it just put into perspective. What I got from it is just the pacing is right on time with a lot of other shit. So
the pacing of the show, how the show was written.
Yeah, so how the show was written exactly. So
it was ahead of its time.
It was for sure ahead of its time. But the amount of dialogue, to do the news correctly, the amount of time that goes into getting the correct story as opposed to just blurting out the.
Well, that's why that show was brilliant, G. Like as you were talking, I was thinking about that.
The sources and all that stuff.
That show was on the cusp of. It was highlighting the conversation that needed to be had between the news and how fast Twitter was becoming how people receive the news. Not just Twitter, but the internet in general. Mm-hmm. And so what would happen is like a lot of journalists, like they subscribe to this integrity. They need so many sources in order to be able to confirm a story. And even then, it's still like, well, that really ain't true. But they, at the very least, they went through their liberties of like, all right, I got 3 sources, boom. What Twitter did and what the internet did, blog sites that gained notoriety just by being first, it's like they weren't fact checking and wasn't going to get the sources to confirm stories. So it was compromising the news because it's like, yo, if you're if you're Fox, if you're CNN, why the fuck is TMZ 8 hours ahead of you on a story? And it started in the newsroom was like they were the whole internal battle was like this new wave of journalists that are on it, that subscribe to the internet, but we're still like, I can get these facts checked. We just need to be able to compete. And so they were trying to speed up that process in the battle internally, and it was depicted so beautifully because it was at a time too when there was a whole bunch of in real time. If you,
a lot of shit going on.
It was a lot of shit happening in real time as that show was being produced, and they were talking about that shit on the show. So it was like Aaron Sorkin and them were bodying the writing of that show.
It was just cool because they did outline. So the cool thing is it goes through the history of how the news came about, and that it was originally brought to the attention of the government to highlight an hour out of the day. So you have 23 hours out of the day that you're able to push consumerism. And for 1 hour a day, it was supposed to be a day that you were, it was supposed to be a moment that you're supposed to be for the people. So present to the people things that were important to them that took them away from their daily drive of being a consumer all day, right? But what they forgot to, put into the paperwork when they agreed to set aside 1 hour a day for the news was to make it an hour blocked from ads. So when they did not do that part is when you started having this happen later on, where it's really just the fastest to the price, and you have to retract a lot of the statements and a lot of the information, which puts people into a frenzy way too early than they actually. It was hella shit, bro. But it was just like important to outline that it was originally meant to be an hour out of the daily cycle of consumerism.
Damn. So now, fast forward present day. What are gonna be the ramifications? Because we talked about it. We were joking talking about it. It's like what's gonna be the first day everybody's able to be back outside. How does everyone else pivot in terms of information once this is over? Based off that, what do you think?
You mean as far as like now presenting information? When everybody's like able to get back around each other and stuff like that.
The present information and then how it's received, right? Because do we? Yeah. So do we? So because once it's like, all right, y'all can go back outside. How many people just rush back outside and aren't like cautious and continue to practice social distancing and how that information is relayed, and then we're seeing it in Wuhan where they lifted their lockdown, but then they saw the new cases began to rise again. It's bound to happen, right? So does everyone rush back outside, and then once they start reporting on these stories, if certainly they're more than likely they will surface again. How depending on how those are reported will determine a lot for not just even our day to day, but even how businesses operate.
Most definitely.
So
naturally, I would say that the ones that I go to the forefront and will push so we're kind of going to be in that cycle again. That it's going to be the horror stories are going to be the ones that go to the very top. So if there was something, of course, when we put everybody back outside, there's going to be stragglers who are going to naturally not go about things as if we were just in the middle of, death and, dire times. So that mixed in with people who are trying to take it seriously, but still getting caught in the crossfire from people who aren't as serious about it. Will naturally start to have this cycle happen again. But as far as like presenting information is going to be, you have to run to the dire part of this first, and even if it's a low number,
and then work backwards,
then work backwards from there. That's going to be more important. I mean, that's going to be something that people are going to gravitate to first, and that's really. I mean, I get the updates all the damn time on the on like just just news information, and that's how that stuff goes. Like they go and find a story that's a very small subsection of something and make it a lot larger than what it actually is, and that's the one that gets presented. And because if it's popping up on my phone, then it's like national.
Yeah.
So if that's the one that's getting presented, and it's just another cycle of presenting fear, then that's the one that's gonna get run, not like actual information where like nigga just go about things as if, bro, shit can happen.
Yeah, the part that I think I'm struggling with the most lately, because we the whole conspiracy thing, a lot of people, their favorite part of the show at one point was Conspiracy Corner, where we just kind of ranted on shit, and because I think we both agreed that there was a at least a base level of responsibility to sort of further certain conversations in this climate in particular, and so we avoided a lot of those conversations, but now the way CNN, the way the CNN cycle is going, the way the Fox News cycle is going, the way
they showed how Nancy Drew's show is put together, bro.
Man,
it's amazing the production quality that goes into her just saying outlandish shit, and then quickly moving over to something else that's gonna grab your attention so that you don't turn your head away from the TV. They do what they do. They create news shows around entertainment, and it's crazy how it's effective. Like you were talking about when you walked into grandma's house and Ted was getting his news from TMZ.
From TMZ, it's a new. They have a news show.
TMZ is the news now, bro. So like that, it's because it's entertaining, it's quick, it's rapid fire, it's people giving their opinions and as quick as possible without actual like they're paying people off for these stories and they're getting fucked up shit, but they're still the first to get it. Yeah. And then if they have to retract it, they have to retract it. But for the most part, you're not gonna remember it. You're not gonna be on to the next topic, bro.
So they don't ever have to retract
30 topics a day, my nigga. So they didn't really have to do anything.
Oh man, that's the part.
There's no A block for them. It's just nigga one long
just
block.
One, yeah. And so that's the part, G, where I think personally I'm struggling the most in terms of just like information, what information the process is true or not, is thinking about revisionist history and how we collectively process particular information present day of shit we know was fucked up then, but it's so far removed and it really ain't no sweat and like tripping off of it. So there is no one held accountable. There is no revision. No, there is no redaction. There is no effort made to go recorrect that and tell that story officially. So a bunch of conspiracy-led voices are left to sound like lunatics or just people who are ranting and raving. But so there is evidence at the very least that the government had information that 9/11 was in that plans were in motion for this to take place, and then certain information was just ignored. That's not to say that the government had a hand in it or none of that, but that's close enough for me personally.
Bro, look at who was in charge and look at what he was doing when he found out about that information.
But not even just him. I'm talking about overall collectively in America's history of like some crazy shit happening. There is some question. There is some sort of speculation in and around what our own government, the role that they played in it. And
I really believe that's the reason why we have a president, bro, is so that you have somebody to blame for your fuck ups. Like it therefore makes all these other positions damn near obsolete.
They're able to operate in autonomy, like they're faceless.
Yeah, they're able to get away with all this BS, and they go in circles all damn day about shit that does not matter and overlook the stuff that actually does out of simple grade school fighting over, what side of the line you're on. Yeah. You know what I mean? That shit, at some point, that shit is that shit doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But you make it the forefront of your cause, and you lose out on ever coming together on a particular topic. So there you have the 9/11s that slip through the cracks, and we have that many people that lose their lives. And
well, even so, I think the point that I was trying to make is like, if you take 9/11, take the war on drugs, slavery, the abolishing of slavery, privately owned prisons, you name it. Like, there is JFK, MLK, Malcolm. There is at the bare minimum some speculation that our own government played some role, whether it be large or small, in that, and we kind of, it's folklore, it's dismissed. There's these deep dark web conspiracy videos, these books that are written, what have you, and then in present day, somebody can make a documentary about it. It can win all these awards and cause these conversations. Yet nothing ever happens. There is no price to pay for. There's no one to sort of, to your point, having a president. All this other shit can happen on their watch or in and around them, and no one is ever like held responsible.
Well, they made some great distractions, bro. Like, they made patriotism. That's an amazing one. Yeah. They made religion. Yeah. That's an amazing one. Yeah. They made consumerism. It's an amazing. It's all amazing. It's all amazing things that you're able to put into place. As it's kind of like inside of. It's like in a game when you write in a code that allows you to. No matter what, it's like when you play a game, when you play those games and you put in like the code for like Grand Theft Auto or something like that, you get like all the machine guns and all the cars and all the rocket launchers. Rocket launchers, and you can run your the state of emergency up to the highest level, and then just put in one code and all that shit subsides. Yeah. Nigga, that's exactly what this stuff is, bro. It's a written in code, and to make sure that all this shit, you can run it all the way up, and then it subsides. Yeah. The most recent one, the most recent conspiracy that's been talked about all week this week that kind of just consumed me personally, is new evidence in and around Charles Manson case. Apparently, fam was protected by the CIA. There's some evidence to suggest that. I forget the cat's name that read the book and ultimately led to sort of private investigation and interviewed different people that were in and around that case. But there were several cops where it was like, fam was stopped in multiple states, and they were instructed oftentimes to just let him go. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, and in the way that story is romanticized and told over and over again, fucking our guy, why can't I think of his name right now? Director of Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino. His last is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's essentially just a different angle of the Manson story. One of the murders that was committed on their watch. Not the only one. That's one of them that was committed, but by a person that was ultimately protected by the CIA. What the fuck is the CIA able to, like, the amount of shit that they're able to be tied to, yet no one's had to answer for it. Where from the war on drugs. I didn't even talk about the 3 strikes law, like that, like even shit like that, like somebody in office in Senate, they approved this type of shit, and it ends up ultimately affecting the poor, which majority of that is us, and no one has to answer for it. And now, and I guess I'm connecting all of this stuff now, present day, because when you look at COVID and how it's covered in the areas that are most affected, it's a direct effect on
on the underserved. So we know we're aware of the attack that took place on school systems in a particular demographic, white flight, gentrification, how all of this shit is affecting black people specifically, and then brown, and then poor people as a whole. What I don't believe in that subscribing as a victim shit. But fuck if that's not those aren't hell of odds to sort of try to combat. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the thought I've been having. What to think of past that, I'm not sure, but it's and then finally finishing that Made in America book. So it's a lot of this is my thoughts, if they seem scrambled, is the byproduct of consuming multiple different things that are all pointing to the same thing, and it's just from completely different angles. So the masterful job that Michael Eric Dyson did in that Made in America book, where literally he's annotating Hove lyrics from the entire span of his career, whether it be features, whether it be from fucking Reasonable Doubt, whether it be from 444, from the Carters, from Limit. Like he annotates all these lyrics and offers a much deeper perspective on a particular Black American experience, role, effort, and what that endured. So my favorite part of the book is when he's breaking down Hove's awareness to how much the people as a whole, no matter what, white, black, whatever, how much the people as a whole sort of value popularity. And he's going, okay, well, if popularity kind of determines how much finessing and wiggling I can do in that space, I can't act like that's not a variable. Like I would be undermining my efforts and the service I have intent to do if I completely try to dismiss that one variable. People move, whether they want to admit it or not, based off popularity and how many times they hear or see something familiarity, right? And so that's where you get I'd probably lyrically Talib Kweli. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 million. I'm rhyming like common sense. Like the way Michael Eric Dyson breaks that down and what that means, and how Jay in his mind goes, well, if whomever can sort of categorize me as shallow, as only being about money, cash, hoes, they're only listening to the singles. And then I started thinking about it. Because this is exactly why Hove has been my favorite forever, but it's different when someone of Michael Eric Dyson's sort of intellect writes it, so it gives it a level of validity that my own fandom couldn't even serve for myself, right? Yeah. So Michael Eric Dyson is just like, yeah. If you think about the single, take Dynasty, for example. Give It To Me is the single. Think about the imagery of the video and everything. But you think about the intro of that album, Soon You Understand, Where Have You Been? Some of those are some of the like
This
the most.
Can't Be Life.
You know what I'm saying? So that duality and that balance. And then there's a portion in the book where he highlights the connection and the impact that Hove had on Nip, but how Nip dying ultimately gained him the notoriety and allowed him to be sort of preserved as the hero. But had Nip not died, the intent, his continued success, how he would have evolved and expand, it's like a 99% chance that he eventually would have become the villain, not even just by white America, but even to his own people at some point.
Completely.
And I was like, oh my God.
That's a given.
It really fucked me up. But it's like, think about that spectrum that a black man can cover in a lifetime. To no one ever giving a fuck about you, to rising, becoming a hero because you rose from where no one gave a fuck about you, and then being too successful to be the villain, and then hope, cross your fingers to be able to survive that villain space, to live long enough to become the hero again. That's a lot of fucking ground to cover, and I don't expect anyone to relate to that. Like you're safer, your livelihood wise, we're safer not achieving our dreams and creating and having the impact that the amount of, if we had the minimal amount of success on our sort of wish list, right? You know how much hope and access that creates for people that some particular groups don't want to have that amount of access. So it's safer for us to just do regular shit and not ruffle the feathers. And so another documentary is the shit The Family that's on Netflix, and it's just about the niggas that's behind the government. Like they don't operate as a branch or an entity, a known entity, because they subscribe to the notion that the less they're seen, the more they can control.
That documentary is crazy as fuck.
You watch that shit?
Yeah.
Bruh, I was sitting in here, Ariana was like, bro, why are you watching this shit? I was like, I couldn't turn it off. Because it's basically a group that leads and their sole purpose is to become the most powerful people on the planet. And they do it through the lens of Jesus. Oh no, it's some brilliant shit. Yeah. It's some brilliant shit like that, and I think, and it's a hard conversation to have in terms of, it's some game in there. Like it's some game to be deciphered and be decoded. It's dark and demonic, but how much you can't. So it brought me back to that point. Like you can't act like dark and demonic ain't operating and ruling the world already, and try to go combat it and not be like, I might have to spar with the devil. That you can't do that.
Even the way they were being able to meet with people that the government can't meet with.
Exactly.
And then they were like, hey, we're just meeting because we're a religious group, and we just trying to help them see the Lord. It's
but
like
meanwhile, they busting down business though, in the name of Jesus. I said, oh my goodness.
Hey man, one of them groups, bro.
Man.
One of them groups. I fuck with it though, man. I fuck with it. If folks are here to be, if folks are game goofy and you can take advantage of them being game goofy, then by all means do that shit. Let their ass get burned, and then hopefully they learn from it.
Yeah.
I just hope there's not too many casualties in the process. In the process, but chances are there will be. It depends on what you think of as a lot of casualties, though.
Look at how we can do that, though. Chances are there will be, and we all know that. Like, yeah, it's how this thing goes. There will be casualties of the government achieving what they want to achieve, and so that's just the way it goes. We can all collectively go, that's how it goes. And even with COVID right now, that's been the hardest thing to have a conversation about. Is like this feels intentional. It feels like a huge misstep, that no one will be accounted for, and lives have been lost. And it's another thing where the government will just get, well, it'll be a ding on the government, but nothing will happen for it, and we'll just keep moving forward. Voter suppression was a thing, bro. Is a thing. Like we know that, and it ain't shit nobody can do about it. That don't make nobody feel helpless. I'm tripping.
Monty, they told the whole world to go in the house, and motherfuckers did. Like they said just go in there. And motherfuckers were doing everything from their couches or from their apartments and from their houses.
Just adapt.
They told everybody to go in the house, nigga, and everybody's in the house right now. Just
how easily. Kev, we did a song for Kev Choice. He did a social distancing EP in a matter of like 2 weeks, but one of my favorite lines on the song that I'm on, Kevin Allen's like, see how easily they got you working from home now. Like it was like a push of a button, like go work from home. These companies that had these gaudy buildings and ping pong rooms and yoga rooms and bikes on camp, all this shit. Take your ass home. here's a laptop and we can still function. Oh, now we can cut salaries, we can cut contractors, we can like the nigga that Vlad always interviews for the stocks portion and like the real estate portion of the Vlad shit that he talks about. One of the real estate tycoons, bruh's giving game, but Vlad goes, well, what do you learn in the difference from like how are you preparing for this recession versus 2008? He said, man, the only thing I did wrong in 2008 was like I had $50 million in debt. And so I'm sitting on the edge of my seat going, oh, you didn't want to have $50 million in debt. He goes, nah, I didn't have enough debt. Excuse me? You had $50 million in debt in 2008 and you didn't have enough? Yeah. Nah. He's like, before COVID hit, I was at $1 billion in debt. He's like, I'm trying to run this shit up to like 4. By the time people start having to like come up off their properties for real, he's like, yeah, I'm going to get all that. I'm just like, bruh. He's like, yeah, I'm not. He's like, it's a bunch. He's like, even some of his partners and people he does business with are looking to sell right now. And he's like, I'm buying. I'm not selling shit. And I'm just like, yo. And so that's how you can get a stimulus. My mom tried to argue with me to the death about
put you underneath the jail. You good?
Yeah, my mom
that don't go for everybody.
Your auntie was on my head about this applying for this stimulus check. Boy, you better get that money. You ain't gonna have to pay it back. Yes, you are. She's like, nah, you not. I'm like, mom, you got too much game not to know that you got to pay this back. They said. I love our people. Don't say they said to me. Don't say they said. But it's funny though. The unemployment is running out of money, but they're gonna figure that out though. They're gonna, because that's something you can be taxed on that, right?
Grants.
They're gonna figure that unemployment out. The stimulus. They're just gonna keep they're gonna keep adding to it. But guess
they're gonna get unemployment from Social Security because they already killed them people.
Them
people gone.
A lick.
Them people gone.
They killed them people. G.
They plan on being 250,000. I mean, 250,000. That shit is gonna be gone.
G.
Them motherfuckers is out of here.
Stimulus is gonna be okay. It's gonna be protected.
And I don't mean to call motherfuckers. That's like just like the wording.
No. Unemployment, they can tax it, so they're gonna figure it out. Guess what they are running out of money for already? Small business loans. They ain't nah. Kill that.
It's a wrap on that one.
What are we talking about? Am I crazy? I feel nuts because I'm trying to point this shit out and they're like, Monty, stop. It's right there. Couldn't get a small business loan before this shit. Now the people that were trying to buy a house, the same bro was breaking it down. It's like, nah, if you thought at one point before this shit hit, it was only 10% down. Now it's 20. People didn't have a 10%. Now you want motherfuckers that had a 20?
Renters forever.
Shit, bro. This don't feel like the lick of all licks to nobody, bro. I can't not say it no more. The way the content movers were just like was on these niggas' heels. Nah, dead all that. ESPN. If it wasn't for this Michael Jordan shit tonight, ESPN would be dead, bro. They so lucky they get to air that tonight, and then they had to move it up because they like this is how much because we talked about it for weeks now, but ESPN is struggling.
That shit was ghost town,
and they get this MJ doc, and they like this shit wasn't supposed to air for another few weeks, and they moved it up because them niggas don't have nothing.
They've been dropping,
and then
promos.
They all gonna talk about it on their shows.
They've been talking about it the whole week, like doing promo lead up and everything.
Promos, people from their couches or from their houses with the scoop on it.
Man,
bro, I'm sorry, I'm not that interested
in the MJ doc.
I'm not.
Oh, here we go. I was saving it. I didn't even want to talk about it this soon, but go, ready, go.
I'm not interested, bro. Like, I get it. I get it. It's MJ.
Don't do that.
It's exciting.
Why are you not interested?
Because, bro, we know. We get it. you lived in a time where there wasn't social media, so therefore you had this aura about yourself that allowed you to become the greatest of all time. Just live within the fact that you became the greatest of all time because you had no other distractions, and the people from those times was just afraid of the awe of MJ. I'm sorry, it's blasphemous in basketball, but MJ, born in this time, given the exact same circumstances, is not MJ. MJ was very lucky by the time in which he grew up in. I get it.
Gee, you gonna get us canceled.
Hey man, I understand. I get it. It's blasphemous to talk about MJ this way, but understand that MJ never played a Game 7 in the finals. I get it. Who was my nigga playing in the finals? MJ had 6-0.
Don't disrespect Byron Russell like that. Don't you dare disrespect Jeff Hornacek, my nigga.
Bro.
You got Jeff Hornacek fucked up, G.
Hey, John Stockton is nice, though. John Stockton is nice.
Stocks is nice, man.
Stockton is nice. I agree with that one. He's 6-0 in the finals.
Greg Ostertag. Nigga, that's all I got. I got one name for you. Greg Ostertag.
You got a point. You got a point. You got a point.
Can we watch Greg Ostertag highlights, please?
We might need to.
Just so I can get refreshed.
I just want to know if there is Greg Ostertag highlights. Hella Mike and drill in practice.
Greg Ostertag, bro.
But nah, I get it. He's 6-0 in the finals. I understand. My nigga went through the East with who? All right, I'm not even going down the resume. The resume is whatever.
Yeah.
Now, let me get to the actual shit about it, because when we have these talks, I hate barbershop talk, but when we have these conversations when it comes to
what if
MJ versus
who's
Kobe
the best
versus
MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas?
Versus LeBron, all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to give game on the fact that MJ 6-0 in the finals. Artists all about him.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing, I get it. MJ was 6'6". If MJ without a father drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and
damn, he's going there.
Hey,
he's going there.
You're just the messenger. Go ahead.
I'm just the messenger, bro.
Hey,
I'm just the
he's
messenger.
going there. I didn't see this coming.
Nah, he
I didn't
already
see
see.
Bro, like
He been in the gym all weekend.
my nigga, like this shit. It's
this
way too much going around this doc. We get it. My nigga had a last dance and the nigga won. I get it. And the nigga, I get it. I understand.
Jeez.
But they had a hard time. They won three in a row twice. He had to take a 2-year break in between. Try going to the finals 9 years in a row and playing against teams that were better than your team every single time, except for the one when they played against the Mavs. But the Mavs was a better overall team. But all the rest of them, try playing against a team that's better than your team, looking across at your other players in a social media age okay, this is a big thing about it. MJ's teammates were, I don't care if you look across the board, was way better than anything that was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, the entire squad. And he also lived in a time where they were more headstrong. So you can have teammates that you could punch in the face and they're not going to ask for a trade. You can have situations where you can go home at night and believe that if you go in the gym in the morning and you hoop, there's going to be other players in there that's ready to hoop. This time frame right now, you don't know if you're going to find another player that's going to be in the gym with you. It's possible. Them motherfuckers will be in the club. All right, bro, I'm talking too much shit. I'm done. But I'm just saying, like, it's just more so, bro.
But you didn't even peep what I put on for you. I wanted you to get your shit off and then turn and see it.
This is great.
So to be clear, G, just for clarity's sake, you won't be watching tonight.
I do not want to watch tonight,
but you're going to. Okay. I can.
No. I don't. I myself would not plan on watching.
But
This man Lodge did move into my building, and is going to force because he already brought it up that I'm stopping by to watch the MJ doc. Bet you can watch the MJ doc. I'm probably gonna be over here studying or something like that, but I'm not about to watch this MJ doc.
Yeah.
Am I the only person wondering like what music is playing?
I want to know. Just for sake, we got to find out.
Probably Space Jam.
Ooh, some boom bap for Greg Ostertag.
Oh yeah, bro. That's a lot of muscle down there, bro.
Get that shit out of here, nigga. Give me that.
Look at that block though.
Give me that.
That nigga blocked it from the ground.
Eddie Jones, give me that, man. Greg Ostertag throwing shit, bro. This is crazy. This
all
is
right,
enough
my
of this.
bad.
Enough of this.
Nah, my bad. Ostertag, Ostertag was nicer than I gave him credit for. So he did play against John Stockton and Greg Ostertag in the finals twice. So he did do that.
Yeah,
I fucked up on that part.
I'm not gonna let you live just because you've seen highlights. Because I can make a highlight video of myself, and you niggas will think I'm wet. So I'm not letting them.
Because we played against John Stockton and Ostertag, I might give him a little more credit on his finals resume, bro. But no, all bullshit aside, I just don't like when folks be in here talking about the actual records when you break down who's the best players of all times in any sport, because there's so many other factors. Unless you're playing in tennis or golf or something like that. Mm-hmm. The surroundings or the people that you're playing with is very fucking important. The coach that you're playing for is very fucking important. The time that you're playing in is very important. But I'm not going to talk too much about the time because everybody can't play at the same time. So it's more so be the surrounding people, where their mental is. And don't say that the leader is going to get everybody's mental intact. Bro, try being a leader in today's age and telling anybody what to do. Nigga, that ain't on you. My nigga, there is no way for you to tell a bruh that is making anywhere from now, but the league minimum is what, like 750, 800?
Something like that, yeah.
Something crazy like that. So try telling any bruh that he need to be in the gym taking this shit serious. Kobe tried. Kobe almost lost every limb he had trying to will people into playing basketball at his level. Yeah. My nigga, the further along you're going to get, the less likely you're going to come across people that care about this as much as you care about your legacy. Naturally.
How does styles make fights? Eras make conversations. The golden era for rap, the golden era for soul music, for R&B, for film. They argue and romanticize it in all kinds of ways, and ignoring the fact that technology advances, humans advance and adapt. It's just how evolution works. And so I think that's where I personally have a hard part with the debates, where it's just science. At that point, it's just like, hey, this nigga's different because of the time he was born in. But you were headed down a road that caught me off guard, but I just had never considered, where you were like, hey, being born in Akron without a father and turning up to be the
amazing luck you got from that is being drafted to the Cavs.
And then being drafted by the Cavs and still surviving that. Like that, all of those things sort of set up a recipe for, okay, you're going to be a bust. And not only are you not a bust, you kind of exceed all the praise. Like that, I think that's the thing about the LeBron conversation that we probably won't be able to have until, like they're doing for MJ tonight, 20 years later. And so but this is the part that I had to come around on, not wanting to convolute legacies and or conversations. Yeah. And that became more of a thing with the passing of a Kobe, man. Mm-hmm. So much of Kobe's last 4 or 5 years playing were convoluted for me as a fan, and just appreciating his basketball savantness because of the debates that were being had. Mm-hmm. There were Laker fans on my college team that that just made that Laker fans, Oregon Duck fans, it's Laker fans, Oregon Duck fans, and there's one more other fan base that are just unbearable. Warrior fans, I'm tripping. Are impossible people to deal with. And so all that shit was contaminating the focus and like how just how excellent it was. And so the first week of the quarantine, ESPN put on the Kobe's last game, and just getting to appreciate that it's just like Broadway theater without worrying about who they were gonna say is better. That shit don't matter no more. And what's more frustrated about it is that these three men dominated at such a level and were able to tap into something mentally and so Kendrick's on TV right now, and I have to hear all day long people debate why Kendrick isn't this, isn't that. It's just frustrating where it's like, can we just appreciate the greatness right now? It's the same thing with Hove. What are we debate? Like there is no debate.
I think what this comes down to, for me at least, is that I'm tired of putting the God level complex into people. You know what I mean? And you find out the older people get that they are just as insecure, just as like,
just as petty, just
like still pay attention to the exact same things as you do. You know what I mean? But for me and that topic and why that one is it's such a personal one for me. For me though, is just that giving the era that you're in, it's harder to say that it would not be something else if you were now. I just want to compare everything to right now, because at least right now, everybody has a say so on what you do. And everybody has a voice on what you do. It builds a whole different type of character.
Different type of mental focus.
All that stuff. Yeah. And you're finding out that people that did not have to live through that type of stuff, they're a lot slower to the party on being built for this type of stuff. So they tend to stay away. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. And I think you put this in the topics, but on Jordan's insecurity on this stuff. Like and I think that came from Jordan was smelling his own shit for a long time, and think that's thing. But it was when he had a Jordan camp, and there was a little kid that stood up and did "What are those" to his shoes that he had on his feet. I don't think that thing has ever happened to him, and didn't realize, oh shit, I haven't been out the house. I haven't been out the house, so I haven't been around people like this. So damn, these kids are disrespectful. They don't know, like, you don't know who I am. Like that right there. Naturally, you gotta understand that people that are top, they are not used to these type of things, bro. Like, people don't give a fuck.
Kids especially though.
Kids can care less.
The new wave of kids and the shit that they listen to, like, they fully don't give a fuck about nothing you got going on.
But you know how much of a hit that is to like your ego, when the one thing at least that you should be known off of at this point is how amazing you make people feel about your shoes. Yeah. People die every day for my shoes. So that lets me know that they're important. And a little kid just told me, what are those on my feet that he ain't never seen before? Bro, these ain't even out yet. Yeah, don't put them out. Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like that's gotta really fuck up your psyche, bro.
So he probably had on some PEs too. That's what made it funny though. That's what made it funny, is that he probably had on some PEs and the kids is like, what are those? But yeah, I love stories. The backstory to the documentary, how it got made, Adam Silver's foresight to go, hey, so basically the backstory is Adam Silver got information that this would be MJ's last season and suggested, like, hey, you should just have a camera crew follow you because you done did some special shit. That alone is
You think that's where D-Wade got his shit from?
I just think it's a smart thing to do. If you're Michael Jordan or not, like if you're D-Wade, just document. I'm gonna be the dad with the home video camera. I just am nigga. You could use your phone, but it's just a.
You know what I want to do?
It's just a thing.
I want to have the camera that you gotta get the reel for.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I want one of them. Just film everything. Yeah. So because I think the one thing I always was bitter about, like going to my partner's house, like they had their heights in the doorway.
Like what is that? Is that the Super 8 camera?
What's that? What's those cameras called?
Yeah, Super 8s.
Super 8s. Yeah.
Why your parents thought to measure you and like document that? Like, damn, I wanted that. We just didn't live nowhere long enough to do it. So it's like, and then it's funny because my dad hella started off like that. Like my first birthday's on tape. Nana's first birthday's on tape. Our first few Christmases and shit. And then, as things fall apart, and they're not there anymore. And those home videos, man, are just like, I don't know. I don't know why I associate it with, I don't know what I associate it with, but I want to have it. But anyway, let's get off. I'm getting all emotional and shit. The foresight and the vision for Adam Silver to do it, convince it, and have to sway MJ into doing it, I think in itself is a great story. And then the fact that MJ, in watching it and reviewing it, is like, oh fuck, exactly what you said, G. The reason he's worried about it coming out today is because he understands the climate and how you can get your ass chewed up, and don't nobody give a fuck about legends no more. Clearly, based on how that Teddy Riley and Babyface shit went last night, I was so sad, bro. Like I didn't even have it in me to roast because they were roasting them niggas so bad.
Damn.
And Babyface just caught it. Like he just caught like a innocent bystander. Babyface was fine. He was ready and like wasn't having technical difficulties. Teddy Riley was up there looking like somebody's fucking grandpa. Damn. Confused. But
all I saw was a meme with like bro struggling through the wires. That's all I saw. Like just feet coming out of wires.
That shit was so sad, bro. It was so heartbreaking. And I don't even have it in me to roast. Like because I know it's funny and I know them niggas are gonna get it, but it's Teddy Riley, for crying out loud, bro. Yeah. Like I'm sorry, I'm not roasting Teddy Riley. I feel like only bad can come to you if you say something bad about Teddy Riley. he gave us legends, bro. So I'm not saying that better. What you got?
Only thing I was gonna say was, Baby's a different beast, man.
Why you say that?
Just those first 3 songs he played, I was like, He's sitting there in his little velvet jacket, drinking his Marlowe. He is not playing any games right now. He did
any games.
He was like, "You can do all the showing you want, Teddy, but I'm on your ass. You can play, you can dance, you can have your nigga in the background break dancing."
But that's exactly how I expected Babyface to look, just hella, just like, But I'm curious to know, like, did Babyface be talking shit? Like on some nigga shit. Do you think he be like popping big shit? You think so?
I think so.
Did you see how he was talking then? He was talking shit in the cool. Oh, that was real nice. I remember when you did that song, but let me hit you with this one. And they just sit back and look at him and drink his wine.
But
I imagine Babyface being like how, like, when I found out how Brian McKnight is off the clock.
Brian McKnight is sick though.
That's what I mean.
I hope Babyface ain't sick like Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight is a sicko.
That's what I think he is, bro.
But fuck, who is it? Ari Spears is on Vlad right now, and they're talking about the Leaving Neverland Ranch doc, and
blasphemous.
Vlad goes, man. Before all this shit, I kind of thought maybe where there's smoke, there's fire. But he's like, now I don't think Michael did that shit at all. And Aries is like, for real? He's like, why you say that? He's like, man, because Michael, the persona that everybody tried to paint on Michael wasn't what it was. So when they rated,
till Mike died, bro.
When they raided Mike's Neverland Ranch the first time, all the porn that they confiscated, Aries Spears is like, what was it? He's like, it was just regular porn, just like regular, like the porn I would watch. He's like, and then Aries Spears goes, oh, he was a real nigga. He's like, and Vlad was like, yeah, it seemed like it. He's like, the story that kind of did it for him was the OG that did, like, the first Vlad video to go viral was the old nigga that was his kids were signed to Joe Jackson's label, and he's telling a story about Michael fighting Bubbles. And have you seen that clip? It's the funniest shit ever because he's like, Bubbles bit one of the kids, and his son was like, "Dad, he bit me." And Michael heard it, said, "He bit you?" And he said, Michael looked at Bubbles like, "Did you bite him?" And Bubbles would like chant like like talk. He said Michael hit him with a 2-piece. Bop, bop. He said Mike was quick. And Vlad goes away. He fought the monkey? He's like, yeah, with an 8-piece. And you know how OGs be talking and the story changes? Yeah. And they went from a 2-piece to an 8-piece. But the way he did it, it was just like, he was quick. Like, oh my. But he said, everybody that got to hang with Michael for show said Michael, he fucked with bitches and talked big shit and didn't talk like that. He had a deep ass voice. And so I'm curious, like, what was that about that era that made them go, oh, we gonna talk soft and like this? Because Babyface probably be talking hella shit. You don't think so?
No, I do. Even when he was like, how old was you when you made that beat? 12? 11? It's like he was getting his shit off.
But he was doing it in soft voice. Oh man, we going to hell. We can't talk about Babyface. We cannot talk about Babyface.
Let's talk about MJ. Y'all think y'all good?
Oh man, staying. Nah, that's where we're gonna go.
But the other thing I was sad about was I couldn't wait for that playlist to drop the next day. So for them to only get the 3 songs in, I was like, ah.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
It shut down after that.
They couldn't keep that going. Like you couldn't hear shit Teddy was saying. Like his audio was worse than RZA's, and RZA's was bad. So,
because that nigga had 19 mics in the studio all on.
The Teddy and Babyface shit, but Ja Rule issued a challenge of 50, and I kept seeing it, and then it made me realize like how much y'all all got Ja Rule fucked up. It's not a complete wash.
Nah. And see, people kill me, but that Vinny Vici shit,
yeah,
that's a classic, bro. That album was
it's up there. That album is that's Holla Holla's on that one. Yeah.
So, but
and then they'll get into their bag of like features. The only thing I will say is that if mixtape 50 is doing, then it's a wash. Then you got me. But if we're only going like official albums, it ain't a complete wash, bro. Rule 336 is slept on as an album. Vinny Vici is definitely slept on. Pain is Love, there's some joints on there though, but
like he has hits.
Yeah. Why did we completely rewrite history on Ja Rule? I'm fascinated by that.
Because 50 was that big.
I was about to say
that big of a personality, bro.
Jeez. 50 made all of us go, fuck this nigga. And Rule had been hit after hit for everybody. And then the whole world just turned, for the whole world to turn on you because one man said so. That's impressive.
Once again, though, that partly goes down to like the individual, though, because there was not enough. Even though 50 was that big of a personality, there was not enough for Ja to just completely get wiped off the map, though.
Yeah,
like Ja couldn't make a song after that.
he just in his head.
Yeah, like after that, Ja wanted to kill him for years. But that's all he had, though. He just had vengeance for 50. He never had like the same thing that went back into the music.
Damn. I'm thoroughly intrigued by that notion, though. That he just like every time he went to the studio, he just kept thinking
every single time, bro. It was probably another diss to 50.
Damn. And 50,
but not even like rapping though. It was just talking on a mic.
Yeah.
And it was like, bro, are you ever gonna rhyme anything together again, my nigga?
Never
like,
again.
what are you doing? Are you ever gonna?
Bro,
are you ever gonna use like harmony again, bro? Like, what are you doing?
No, because 50 made him think that shit was soft, and then 50 started singing.
Bro, that nigga did 21 Questions after that?
Yeah, he did a lot of shit after that.
What was the first one that hit after that?
No, it wasn't. He didn't. That's the fucked up thing. He didn't do it on Get Rich. It was the Massacre where this nigga started singing on some of them hooks.
And then you gotta think the mixtapes leading up to the Massacre. That's when that nigga he was taking full on New Edition songs and having everybody sing.
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. There is a couple songs of Yayo singing. Jesus Christ. We're gonna call your style corny. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna wipe you out in the process. You're gonna have a Fed case. That's a nightmare.
And then we're gonna make you so angry.
That's the part.
That's a nightmare.
They had the Fed.
The Fed case.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that shit was a wrap.
Yeah,
that shit was that. That's unfortunate. Because Ashanti was on the wave. You just brought Lloyd was on the wave. You just brought everybody down with this shit.
And not only that, 50 was shooting at everybody.
Everybody, yeah. You standing next to him, you getting it.
Yeah, Murder Inc. has some folks, man.
But see, that's my New York shit. Oh,
Charlie Baltimore.
Charlie
Baltimore.
Yep.
She was on there.
Speaking of New York, I think we did it. I'm gonna give us credit for it. I know that's not true, but I'm gonna give us credit for it. We talk shit about.
We usually call things.
Talk shit about New York, fucking up and not working together, and I couldn't be more like elated about some niggas that I don't know watching French and Jim piece it up on FaceTime, man, on live. I'm sorry. That was beautiful, cause them Coke Boy DVDs and the come up and all that shit, like that was my shit, man.
Yeah.
Max Stacks, like that whole era of New York shit, like was all I was on, and I hated the fact that it felt like I had to choose between the Wave and Dipset, even though it never was a Dipset thing, because I don't ever remember Joel's saying nothing crazy about French and Max and them. I don't ever remember Cam saying nothing crazy. It was just Jim. It was just fucking what was his gang? Not Bird Gang. What was it? It was Bird Gang.
Yeah, Bird Gang.
Yeah, Bird. I just remember it was Jim's set versus Max and them, but Jim's music suffering for a while because Max was gone. But it was Jim's shit was Jim got raw because he was around Max, and it's like, yo, if all these niggas come together, it's gonna be crazy. And then it was just the craziest like tension, and them DVDs would be nuts. And so we talking about 15 years of funk, like just weird shit, and then randomly it pops up on your timeline. Them two niggas piecing it up and telling horror stories about, like, I don't know. It was just a cool moment, but we just had that conversation about New York just shooting himself in the foot. Like, Max has a chance to come home. Why the fuck wouldn't y'all work together? Like, y'all both need it now. French seems to be in a weird place musically. Jim's gotten better. But Jim could benefit from it. Like they could all benefit from working together at this phase in their career, I guess, is what I felt like. And then it felt like they're aware of it too. And just mature. And I don't know. I was hella happy to see that shit. But I also know, like, just from the stories, like in some of those albums, like, because the niggas would be telling those full stories on their mixtapes, like what happened to certain niggas or what was going to happen to certain niggas, and a lot of niggas like got hurt behind that shit, like for real. So glad it's over.
Who'd you have in the battle between 2 Chainz and Big Sean?
I didn't like that matchup. I liked Fab and Chainz more. It's that's where those get tricky.
And also, how bored is everybody right now?
Oh, extremely.
Like the level of boredom right now is
extreme, crazy. and they want to chalk it up as creativity. It's not that creative. This is we're gonna sit on live and play songs. Like
this is niggas in their feelings right now.
But Sean versus Chainz, it's Sean, but I don't want it to be. I want it to be Chainz. But that, you know, that the Sean versus Chainz would feel a lot like Manny versus Scott Storch felt like to me.
That's how I was about
Scott was benefiting from all those hits, whereas Manny, if we were at a party, it's Manny hands down, because of like the niggas who control the energy of a party, they get to dictate what the wave is, if that makes sense. Whereas on the internet, the people who kind of just, oh, this is familiar, go, oh. And so that was the other thing too. Timbaland and all the people that helped kind of ghost produce some of those Scott Storch hits, that was weird to me. Them niggas all bigging up. It felt like Manny versus the industry that night. Mm-hmm. And so that felt weird. And so Chains versus Sean would feel like that just because of how big some of those Sean records are.
You know, Sean's just...
And the other thing I have to say, going back to that battle, I know we talk about it a lot, is some of those records that he played, people don't even recognize them as his records.
Yeah.
Like, he would play something, and you'd be like, that's the Timbaland record. Yeah. Well, I played keys on it.
Exactly.
That's Timbaland.
That was my point. Like, a lot of that shit was like Timbaland, and then the fucked up part is, it wasn't even Tim producing that shit. It was the Danger a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. Like, that poor, not poor Danger, because I know he's straight now, but there was a run where Danger was making all this hit and not getting any recognition for that shit. And it was all that's Timbo shit.
So do you think that... So who made the Mercy record? Was it Sean's part or was it 2 Chainz's part?
I don't think it was either one of them. I think that are you asking me who had the better verse?
Mm-hmm. Like, who basically made the record? Like, who made the record?
See, that's the one record, and so we got to think timing on that one. Chainz had this thing because that Titty Boy shit was real. I don't know how many people actually remember it, but I remember that shit vividly. When that nigga was catching steam, even as DTP was like suppressing his shine. And it was almost like the switch got flipped to the 2 Chainz shit, and anything he touched was out of here. And so when you think about Mercy, Sean benefited mightily from being on that record. Like, it's the equivalent of Chainz is supposed to be on that record. Sean, we know he's supposed to be there, but the world don't really know. So when he gets there, that nigga benefits from torching standing next to the nicest niggas. And you go, who is that? We know who the rest of these niggas are. Who is that? So that record is unique to me for that reason, where it's like, Ye was gonna do Ye. And the funny thing about Ye doing Ye is that I don't want to listen to that record without Ye on it. Even though he probably has the subpar verse in comparison to the other people. I personally,
he's producing though.
I probably wouldn't listen to it if Ye not Ye.
That was producer Ye.
Yeah. So that's why it's brilliant to me. And then we get a rare Chainz. We get an introducing Sean almost, not really, but this is like, nigga, here you go, and then Push. What?
Push is on that record.
Push murdered that.
Push. And so in comparison, I think Push bodies everybody. Chainz has the most memorable one-liners, and Sean is just like, nah, nigga, I'm here. And it's those rare moments where the new-ish guy, because Sean wasn't new. This sounds crazy to say, but he wasn't new, but there was still sort of speculation like, yo, what is he in the ranks of good music? And he's like, no, I'm that nigga. And then proceeded to run off hit after hit after that.
You know, he needed that. He needed the Detroit mixtape, and he needed
oh my gosh,
if he didn't do the Detroit mixtape, it would be no Sean though, because he was still.
Is Detroit right after the Mercy look? It's close.
I think Detroit might have been before it.
It's before it.
I think Detroit.
Yeah, because he started it up.
Yeah,
because Detroit for me,
how you even made it into the good music fan group like that. I think.
No. He was finally famous and shit. He's good music.
I know, but like, I mean, like, even being considered
like
before that, I swear he sounded so much like Kanye. It was ridiculous. But Detroit is what kind of separated him having his own
Detroit. I remember it was probably like sophomore year of college, and Dill called me. And Dill, we talked a lot in school, but not that much. Dill called me. He was like, "Yo, have you heard Big Sean?" It's like, I seen, bro. I ain't really like it. Just
that's how it was.
I ain't listening to that shit. For whatever reason, the Finally Famous tapes just didn't resonate with me. Like Lemonade, none of that. Like none of that shit. I wasn't fucking with it. Nigga, Detroit came out, and I was like, yo, I don't even know what it was. It was just.
He could have been classified as bubblegum before that, to tell you the truth.
Maybe that's what it was.
It could be that.
Detroit just felt dark.
That's it.
Detroit felt dark and felt like some, and it wasn't like it was some street like gritty shit. It just felt counter to everything that was happening, and then how the features were going too. So I just like that Detroit shit was crazy.
Well, it started becoming for Sean therapy on a track, and when he got into therapy on the track, I think is where he found his bag, because he can get into some very dark shit and then do some uplifting shit that to counteract it, which helps out a lot because Sean. Sean can rapidy rap. So if he just rapidy raps you to death with bubblegum shit, it was what he initially was doing, Finally Famous. There's no market for that whatsoever. We got plenty of people that could do some shit like that and go nowhere. So it was definitely putting some depth into what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. And once he started talking about some real shit, and then putting together with that like some uplifting positive shit, and then having these breakups be in the public and do like some I don't fuck with you type shit, all that shit is how you get into like the forefront and being in the conversation with some of the other people, not up there, but up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next tier.
Yeah, nah, that's
he's
crazy.
He's in the second tier with me.
Okay. I'm rolling. So now Fab versus Chains I was here for.
Okay.
Still not an
Chains can't touch no Fab.
Exactly. Still not an equally yoked battle.
Fab got bangers.
Why niggas sleep on Fab?
Cause that nigga chill, bro.
It's gotta stop though. Like,
dude.
Nah, Fab is slept on.
Yeah.
Fab is slept on mightily.
They say he just raps for women. Like he does female rap.
But I hear it all the time though. I hear people that go like, "Oh man, I went to a Fab show." Not going for a Fab, but went and Fab just did his hits and did an hour and a half of like,
no, he's got joints.
Oh, he made that song or he made that song. Like, yeah. Like, why is it such a secret?
That's disrespectful, bro.
It is so disrespectful. And you know what made me happy?
Soul Tape group, man.
Thank you.
Untouched, bro.
Thank you. Soul Tape is what solidified it to where you didn't sound crazy no more when you were saying it. Mm-hmm. But is it Talking New York? What's the one before? Nigga, I just listened to it the other day because we played the Neo shit.
Like the album?
Made Me Better. The album that made me better is on the album right before that. With Breathe on it.
Yeah.
That album?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Breathe is nuts.
Breathe is nuts.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
Real talk.
Real talk, yeah. And he'll just throw in one of them joints too with like Mo on it or something and just be like, bro, come on, man. Why you gotta do this to me every time?
Because every time
his face every time.
Because every time he turned the album in, they like, yo, you need a hit. And he like, all right, man, let me call Mo. He had Mo. I think Mo
had Mo on speed dial.
Lil Mo has a fabulous fucking bat phone. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Fab, what you need, G? I'm trying to turn the album in. They need a radio hit. All right, bet.
At some point, we got to do that though. Like the best duos like that, like when they team up, bro.
You know what it's gonna be.
It's a super connection. When they put it together, it's going on.
It's Fab and Lil Mo. It's Wayne and Manny. After that, I don't have much for you. Sorry.
Jermaine Dupri and Usher? No.
Yeah. I guess I got to give you that. I have to give you that. That's another battle that I don't know if it's gonna go the way people want it to go. JD versus Puff. That's not a wash. It's closer than people think. Or am I tripping?
Nah, I feel like people really underestimate Jermaine Dupri.
Do they just not know the totality of it? Is it just too sparse? Like, is that something you got to just see to believe it type shit?
Yeah,
I think so.
They just don't know.
I think nobody, like, because, Puff's, like, all the way out there.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of looks at Jermaine Dupri like he's just Jermaine Dupri. Like, people just connect him with just, like, Bow Wow, if you really think about it. Bow Wow and the Brat and Criss Cross. And they don't see.
That's enough. Like, if you like to keep going, we can keep going. But nigga, if you gonna give me Bow, if you gonna give me Brat, and you gonna crisscross, and then we still haven't talked about Usher, still haven't mentioned Escape, still haven't said nothing about Jagged Edge, like, and then his solo shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. That feels Mariah. Come on, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing?
They got JD messed up.
They got JD fucked up.
But again, I think that comes down to the personality of the person, though, because JD is not about to argue with you about this.
He's like, all right, y'all don't believe it.
Yeah,
all
if you don't know about shit, then you just, hey, fuck it.
With all the verses shit, it's cool, but it's a whole bunch of new music. And this week, I don't know about y'all.
Oh, we got hit over the head with it. This
We got hit. We got whacked. Pause. Yeah. I keep saying pause for no reason. It's stupid now. It's getting out of hand. I just try to protect myself.
Who do you think is out here listening in for you?
No, because man, I didn't think West Coast niggas played that shit. And then the last few studio sessions I had before this breakdown was like, pause. I was like, you immature fucks. Like, I was like, New York niggas are just immature.
Yeah, I'm about to say, not everybody out here is from the West Coast. Though.
Yeah, jeez, man. I'm not saying that stupid shit no more. New music. Where we want to start? We got new Westside. We got new Dream.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Are you ready to? No, I'm not even gonna do that to Cuz. I'm not even gonna do that to you. The Baby.
Hey, y'all go put some respect on the Baby name, man.
You like the new one?
Huh?
You like the new one?
Y'all gonna put some respect on, bro. Right? Like that nigga just keeps going.
No. That's not the question. You can keep going. Do you like this one?
I do.
Okay.
I like the last one. I think
Kirk. You like Kirk?
Yeah, I wasn't mad at Kirk. I like the one before that one. Baby on Baby. No, not that one. I forgot what the first album was called. But yeah, Kirk was cool. And then this one is better than Kirk, I think. And then I like what the Baby's doing. I really do. I think that
new Division.
Division hasn't missed yet to me.
I'm here for it too. At all. What you got? No.
I knew they were special because their first album was my birthday, and I was like, "Oh, you guys,
you guys get it." Division. So I got through Division. They don't miss. Your man,
that guy.
Dream.
I had to hit y'all with that, bro. I was listening to it. I was like, bro, because that was my second time listening to it.
I hadn't even because Westside had completely consumed everything.
He does that.
And then the Dream, I already know what the Dream is going, what the space he's going to put me in. So I'm like, let me avoid that. I'm on lockdown. This could get weird. But then you couldn't avoid it, and you're like, yo, this nigga's the nigga for real. What kind of drugs does Dream do? Do we know? We want to speculate.
X.
Think so?
Powder.
A concoction.
Yeah.
X and powder.
Molly.
He do Jeffries.
Jeffries for sure.
Hey.
Nah, him and Puff was definitely off Jeffries to make that first Passion, like the first song.
Yo.
They was for sure off some.
I want to know.
They took that back to the original Bad Boy. Like that was some initial Bad Boy days.
Bro, just the way bro programs drums, I think from the very first time you hear we heard a Dream, heard him, not his songs, but heard him. You're like, yo, this voice is unique. Like this is it's cutting through different. Don't nobody sound like this. And then to find out he's producing, and then when you start hearing his records and like how he would program the drums and the different sounds he would use, like how dirty the drums would be with like pretty ass chords and then a strange ass like falsetto. It's just don't know about nothing sounds like that.
Yeah, he has an interesting voice naturally too. So
and where everybody could sort of copy and ride a wave, him and Frank are sort of like uncopyable or whatever that word would be. Like everybody sort of figured out the Drake formula, and then he'll pivot and do something different, but people can pretty much figure it out in terms of dominating sounds. Everybody's copied the Travis wave.
That's why he stays ahead of the curve and just steal something else.
No,
Drake consumes shit. Like that nigga, like he's one of the better at consuming things.
Hey.
He is a Pac-Man if you ever seen one, bro. That nigga will consume shit.
You may be right.
And make it his own.
You may be right.
Nigga, there will be nothing left if you don't stop Drake now.
You may be right.
It's like even funnier on the character because he's like,
there'll be nothing. There'll be nothing left. Trust me.
You might be right, but we swore after that super flex of the Tootsie slide, there would be no more Drake slander.
Got you.
All right? I just want to remind you of what we said.
Point taken.
From one goat to another, Westside Gunn is trying to get a statue somewhere. Whether it could be, obviously he's going to get one in Buffalo, but every other hood may as well just make a statue of Westside Gunn. I'm convinced. What the fuck, man? No one's going to say it. No one's going to say it, so I'm going to have to ask.
Who does their production?
Derringer, Beat Butcher, Alchemist.
And then Tyler had done a beat on this one.
But he didn't do the one that he's on, though.
Nah.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Because they're doing this without it being stale. You know what I mean? Like, the songs don't really change from each other.
What the fuck is happening?
But they're fresh each and every time. Like, you just gotta listen through the entire album and be like, damn, that was great. Every time. Like, you just be like, all right, man, that was great.
But I think the uniqueness for the Griselda as a whole are the assortment of people that listen to them. Like, my friend group, Griselda's the only thing that the people I talk to about music with agree with across the board. When I found out L fucked with them, I was like, all right, they must be dope. Because it's real specific, and I ain't never heard L fuck with no like grimy boom bap shit like that. But it's not grimy boom bap. It's fly as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. They keep it fresh somehow, bro. That shit's impressive. Man.
And so Flo fucks with him. Lex fucks with him. I'm like, okay, this they're covering board. And then Poe is like, nah, them the niggas. And I'm like, what? How do y'all come and make something so specific and have everybody fuck with you?
I don't know.
I'm amazed because it's like if they have another formula that people are going to try to copy. You can't copy that. It's so unique. It's so unique to where if you try to copy it, it sounds like you're trying to copy it.
Most definitely.
Nobody
else can put on no track,
bro.
Do that shit if you want to.
I know you could do that shit for 2 minutes
and I'll just listen
to it.
Bro,
that'll be the track, man.
And some of the shit don't be rhyming. This nigga don't be rhyming words on purpose, and I'd be like, yo, dish that shit. And so I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than just press play whenever they drop. And this is for all of them. This ain't just Westside Gunn. This one Benny dropped, this one Con dropped. You just press play and just play it for people as opposed to like trying to preface it and explain it because it ain't no shit you can explain. Or you just got to show them the video and then everybody walks away and goes, this is amazing. I've never listened to any one of them with anyone and they'd be like, y'all don't like this shit. I've had that experience with other people, with other artists. Mm-hmm. They're the one group that I've been listening to that shit with multiple people and no one's ever said they don't fuck with that shit. I'm just impressed by it more than anything.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm here for it though.
And
they put out a lot of material too.
A lot of material, but there's people that don't fuck with like as crazy as it sounds. There's people that don't like all of TDE. That's a thing. There's people that don't like all of Dreamville. There's people that don't like Odd Future. I don't know nobody that don't like Griselda. Am I crazy?
That live to tell about it?
There you go. That's what it is. Okay, now we get that. That's all I was looking for. Boom, boom, boom. Oh man. We rushed through the sports. There was two important.
Nah, you rushed over the baby, bro.
Oh, go back. My bad.
Nah, but hey man, I just like people that hit the lick and run it up, bro. Like that nigga found a way, bro, and ran that shit up. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of time that went into people not fucking with your music. So I'm only impressed by the fact that
now that you hear,
folks you hit that one lick that everybody fuck with the Shook shit, and then from there you ran that shit all the way up to stardom.
Would you expect
not superstardom, but stardom?
Would you expect anything less from somebody though to get their foot in the door and just go?
I don't think everybody can do it. I don't think everybody can push out because his shit is so specific that you gotta hit the market running before somebody copies that, and there be hella people with the exact same.
But he's another one. Whether you like it or not, if the second people start trying to do it, you sound like the baby.
Yeah, but his sound can also, since it deals with so much repetition and being so repetitive, that it's possible that nigga, you can grow tired of it. So you gotta run that shit up now and create your businesses and then get the fuck out.
What's funny about Suge, as repetitive as it is, and as big of a song that was, I don't remember having that moment of being like irritated by that shit. Every time it come on in the club or whatever, it came on the radio, it was just like, this makes sense. It's a great song. Like it's hard to argue with a great song.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not irritated by one DaBaby song. I don't think one.
I don't. No. I
haven't fucked with the Nelly type of song that he made with B Simone that just came out. Like everyone is just like,
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him at all. It's just not. He's the one artist, one of the newer artists that I'm just like,
don't have anything towards.
Not even that. It's just like I understand the lore. Because he's like sonically, when you listen to it, it's like, yo, this sounds great. I just wouldn't listen to it.
Got it.
Dolo, like in the club, you can't escape it. Party, and what's crazy is about the shit that I wouldn't listen to if I was doing a playlist for a party. It'd be full of DaBaby. Like that's the other thing too.
Okay.
So just being cognizant of how his music affects other people. All right, enough music. Back to sports.
Are you gonna do a DJ set for the grant?
No. I should, but I'm not going to.
No.
Fuck you, dude. Because now I'm thinking about it like, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing that shit. Jalen Green. We talked about him a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
He announced midweek that he's completely foregoing college and going straight to the NBA's G League.
Swag.
And signed for something that's reported to be $500,000 for 1 year. He can still attend college courses if he chooses to, and the NBA will pay for it. The reports are that Adam Silver was frustrated that the two guys last year, LaMelo and the other gentleman,
Going overseas.
yeah, that they had to go overseas to explore their talent and to get paid for the talent as U.S. citizens, and was like, come on, man, this is getting out of hand.
You see, LaMelo bought his team.
Wait, the team he ended up.
My nigga is all about this internet shit, bro. He does it really well.
The team he went to go play for. He ended up purchasing.
Bro, he bought that team, bro.
These new kids, man, are and so that's why there's all these sports stories I wanted to talk about. So salute to Jalen, getting that bag and saying fuck the NCAA. Hopefully more young men of his caliber, because he's special. Like that kid's just different. Are able to take control of their futures and still have the right to go get a college education too, if they so choose to. College ain't for everybody. It's another conversation.
It's
for
really
another
not.
day. That's another topic for another day. We could do a deep dive if we want.
But if you don't know what you want to do in life, then there's no, like, you should go to college
100%
to buy yourself time.
Yeah.
If anything else, if you just don't know what the fuck you want to do in life, buy yourself time by going to college. But otherwise, if you don't see a reason for college, you don't have to go to fucking college. Yeah. College is like, there's nothing about college that says that besides the fact that you're going to be in debt and that you can make a better living as far as like income goes, that you will have to pay back. That's the only thing. Like it's a scam. It's a trick.
That's why I said another topic for another day. Because we can't just say that and just pivot. But that's exactly what's about to happen. So Jalen, salute to him. But then Trevor Booker.
There's about 150 degrees, nigga, that go nowhere. My bad. Go ahead.
Trevor Booker. I remember seeing Trevor Booker play in the ACC and just being fascinated by his motor more than anything and his athleticism.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
You said Trevor Booker?
Trevor Booker, yeah.
From Texas?
No, Trevor Booker played for. He went to Clemson.
Oh, he did go to Clemson.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the color though. You're
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Trevor Booker went to Clemson.
Lefty.
Yep. And then was ultimately drafted by the Timberwolves, I think. And is nonetheless bounced around the league a lot, and then finally was finding his footing as one of those forwards that could switch everything. So he's a valuable player to a lot of teams. But your man's is retiring after 7 seasons or 6 seasons or whatever, and is on pace to be a fucking billionaire. Yeah, he invested in. Speaking of LaMelo buying his team, Trevor Booker bought one of the club MLS teams early. He's got a bunch of other investments, and bruh's from a really small town in South Carolina, and just another beautiful story in what opportunity and access can do for particular brains who think counter to culture. Mm-hmm. The thought is, I'm in a league. I'm from a really small town. My money could go really far from said small town, so I don't really got to be innovative and try other things and diversify my portfolio. Fam completely defied all of that logic and is on pace to be a billionaire. So I just wanted to take time to salute Trevor Booker into his next endeavor, following the lights of the Patrick Willises and people like that who have other interest outside of their profession that got them access. And the last sports story, as I just run through those hella fast, is probably my favorite one. I stumbled upon a story of Steven Jackson retelling why he called his wedding off the day of the wedding, at the wedding. He was dating somebody who's known in the realm, has been on the Basketball Wives shows and all that shit. And it's been mentioned in rap songs, all the shit. Steven has children with this woman, and was getting ready to marry her, and she wouldn't sign a prenup. But the funniest part of that story is, like, Steven Jackson has a popular podcast, popular show, and is often called on as an analyst for ESPN, and is tacking out whatever room of this house he in, like smoke, like big smoking, and just telling the story like one of the OGs would tell a story. And the other hilarious part about that is Stephon Marbury and Mike Bibby are the ones who are gassing him and telling him, man, fuck that shit. Fuck her. Like, like, yo. Stephon Marbury makes sense.
No, Stephon.
You
don't put anything past Stephon.
Yeah,
Marbury.
I don't put anything past Steph. But the Mike Bibby part was hilarious. And then I don't know. Again, a sucker for stories. And I thought that was great. So if you get time.
So my question for that though, did he wait until on the altar for her to sign?
No.
Okay, so he brought this up before, and then she said no, and then he waited to the altar to tell her.
Well before the prenup conversation had come up, and it had been a lot of back and forth, and she just was like figuring out, kept delaying it, and it was like, yo, I'll sign it.
Gotcha.
And the one lady, I forget whose mother, one of their mutual friends' mother was playing like the correspondent in between them to get her to sign it, and she was like, yo, she ain't gonna sign this shit. So, yeah. I don't know. What
that's not all right, because she was for sure about the Larsa Pippen his ass.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was a given.
For sure. I don't know.
So he hit her with that boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, bro. Had to, bro. That shit makes sense. I mean, bro, you got money, you go for a certain type of person. A certain type of people are around you, and you end up with a certain type of person. So that makes sense. She was for sure about to do everything he thought she was about to do.
Yeah.
She was a part of that group.
Did you guys
she's still gonna get hers. But yeah.
Did y'all check out Black as Fuck?
Yeah.
I did.
You did or you didn't?
I watched the first episode.
First episode? How many episodes you get through?
I watched them all.
Yeah, I got through first 2.
Underwhelmed?
You could tell. Do I sound like it?
Oh, no, that's how I was.
Yeah, I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah. I fuck with him as a writer. I just think that for this show, it was a great idea. So I will start with that. But
It's a brilliant idea. That's why I don't want to just go. I'm underwhelmed and leave it there. It was a great.
it's
a great idea.
It's just not funny.
There we go.
That's all. Like I'm all for. I'm a big fan of dry humor. This one should be really well written in dry humor. I just don't think it might be. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff though is getting ciphered to Blackish, and it's just got better actors to do that shit for. But the idea is great. And
I don't like. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go out and say it.
Go for it.
The Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld dry humor that works for those type of white Jewish people, we don't need that. And I get it. The what do they call it? The full body comedy that people like Martin gets made fun of. Have you ever watched Martin with white people?
No, I'm gonna be honest.
Don't. It's terrifying. So in college, the men's team because we were NAIA, broke as fuck. So the men and the women's team had to travel. The men's and the women's team had to travel together on the bus. And oftentimes it'd be like, "Yo, DVDs." Dog, I went 3 years without ever suggesting watch anything because I didn't want to watch shit with white people. And junior year, my nigga.
You mean like how Dave Chappelle felt?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew that there was a possibility that what we thought was funny, they were gonna be like, "What is this?" So junior year, fucking Humphrey and Justin get there, and Justin don't give a fuck about anything. And he's like, "Mondo, you got your DVDs with you? Man, put that Martin on, nigga." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." Like I had no desire to put Martin on on a bus full of white people, right? Them niggas would not let up. I was like, "Fine, you do it, but I'm not going up there to put it in."
Yeah.
When I tell you, not only did what I think was going to happen, it was 10 times worse. Mm-hmm. I was like, I was sunk in my seat, bro. Like my heart was hurting. Nope.
So do you think it would benefit from a laughter track?
Not even a laugh. It's just the style of comedy. Like, am I saying that right? Like, it's just the dry humor that you're talking about, like the emotionless face of delivering certain lines. I just think
if you're gonna do that, your idea better be brilliant. You know what I mean? Like the things that you're trying to convey to the public better be brilliant. So it better be something that goes over people's heads. You can't do that with shit that is so fucking simple that everybody understands it, so therefore it does not hit. You know what I mean? Like that's not how that's supposed to work. What really did work though, when the reason why I might watch it further is just that he does do a really good job of piecing together Black history into these projects. So I do appreciate him for doing that part.
That's not enough, man.
That's not gonna be enough for us. It's gonna be enough for other people.
That's not enough.
But I think that he does a really good job at doing that part. It's just that it's just not gonna be funny from what I'm seeing so far. The kids aren't doing it.
You quiet over there and you watched all of it. What do you think?
Because
as a filmmaker, I'm
gonna be bad because like the only reason I watched all of it is because it was like I didn't have shit else to do. So it was just like running. You know how it just automatically runs on Netflix, and like that was playing, but I was doing hella other shit, and then from time to time I look up. But I guess from the way you guys are talking about it, since I didn't really give it my all, it felt like every time I looked up, it was the same episode at times, and I just noticed that he had a different chain on, and I was like, "Oh, it's a different episode because he got a new chain on."
Got it.
But
that was the hard part too. Is like I loved a lot of the commentary that was around it.
Yes.
I loved it. I just didn't.
The idea is amazing.
Okay,
it's the execution.
We are saying that.
The idea is amazing. Like the idea of doing a documentary inside of a show and it being for the child, but he took it and used
shot
it for,
like it was
chopped it for a show. That's a great fucking idea.
And it was shot
I
like that
can't
too.
put that away. I can't take that away from them.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't funny. You know what I mean? And I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt as a black show that got passed off. I mean, that actually did get greenlit, but it's probably gonna be a tough one. It's probably gonna be nails on the chalkboard. I just don't like to me. What's his name? For Blackish.
Anthony Anderson.
He does a really good job of pulling off the idea of you being an older black dude that has to spend all of your money in order to feel and look as if you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
He does a really good job at that. I just don't think we need to do that again. I guess
that's what I was.
But drier. I don't think we need to do that.
We know it's a spinoff. We know it's looped in. This didn't feel like Different World meets Cosby Show type of spinoff type of thing, where because they're already doing it with Grownish and
Grownish is really good. That's good.
And so
that's
you got
good to that demographic. That's amazing. Not so big on mixed-ish, but then again, that's not my thing. So I'm not. Mixed,
is it doing well? Is mixed-ish doing well?
It's not. It's kind of how black as fuck is kind of where. I'm pretty sure if you're mixed, you might get some of this stuff, but it's just not funny stuff.
And so the black as fuck thing. I don't know. I need to give it more time. I'm only 2 episodes in. I'm gonna watch the whole thing. But at the dry humor, and it almost feels like going out of our way. And the other thing about dry humor too is like the Rashida Jones. I love her as an actress.
She's great.
But she was, if you think about The Office and how dry that humor is, some of it's dry humor mixed with a lot of the physical comedy too. She does really well in that. She does really well in that realm, and so. Even her, I was underwhelmed by her performance in Black as Fuck. And that I thought I'd never say that about her because she's so consistent, from Parks and Rec to The Office. Like I've never seen her underwhelm like that. But it almost felt like because the kids are actually great on the show. Like I'm not mad at the casting for the kids. It's him.
No, casting's good. It's just not good.
My question was that the first thing he had was acting in?
Maybe
yes.
Because I don't watch Blackish consistently.
Neither
I don't
do
watch
Neither
any
do
of those shows.
Neither do I.
So I didn't know if he acted in those shows from time
Does
to
he
time.
appear?
No, just a writer.
Just
Is he a writer? Is he the creator?
He's a creator of those shows,
Yeah.
and then he also writes on them.
Yeah, see,
and he writes. He's going to write. Oh, he already did write "Coming to America," the second one.
the second one.
Yeah, so he does.
So Brett's talented.
No, he's super talented.
Yeah.
He's super talented, but this is going to be the first time he's doing the in front of the camera stuff. But I can already tell that his personality is more behind the scenes.
So what are we going to or what are we speculating? Are we speculating that?
His ideas would hit a lot better if somebody else did them.
No, we're speculating. I know, but are we in terms of why he is finally stepping in front of the camera? What do we think that is? Do you think it's something that he's wanted to do, or do you think this is encouragement from his peer group? Because it feels like, to me, it feels like more encouragement from his peer group. It don't feel like Brett wants to do that.
Yeah, he does like somebody dragging him along through this.
Can we tell that?
It's possible that it's something that
he's wanted to do.
Yeah, so it's possible that's something that he wanted to do, but I think a lot of times in these type of situations where you have such a you can become well respected and like white people really fuck with you, and then they could force you to do some shit. Like he probably had another idea and probably wanted to perform in a certain type of way, but due to timing restrictions, he probably rushed it. And this is probably the rush project of this, because like if you make a hit show like Blackish that's on that show, I mean that's on that network, then automatically you are able to do something else. You can pitch something else.
Yes.
It was a great pitch. It was a great idea. Yeah. But I think they might have rushed the process on it, especially working for Netflix or working for Netflix deadlines. It's possible that he rushed it.
Yeah. And then another thing is, if this is like his first real go around acting, maybe like since it's his first go around, he's still trying to find his groove.
Yeah. So second season.
Yeah, he might actually be able to really get into his bag and actually really feel comfortable. Because if he's been like behind the camera and just really writing all the time, even if he has wanted to act, but he just wasn't ready for the jump, and now he finally decided, I'm going to make that jump, and he makes the jump, but now he's trying to figure out, because like Rashida, she's been acting for years, and then, you know, the kids are young, and when you're young and you're acting, you're able to just get it faster because, you know, you think you can do anything.
Yeah, you're sort of acting like yourself.
And he's not. It's not unbearable. It's not, because I'm going. If it was unbearable, I wouldn't be able to finish it. But I'm going to finish it because it's not, and I'm curious to see that. I'm curious to see whether halfway through the season if he catches his groove.
He I noticed like the last 3, 6, 7, 8. Mm-hmm. You could tell he's starting to get it.
Wrap up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that, and it's another thing that I personally have about just being black and allowing things to develop and giving it time. So he I owe him that. You know, you don't owe nobody shit, but as a consumer and a storyteller, I feel like that there is some karmic sort of like let me get it some time.
Nah, he has enough of a track record for me. Yeah, he definitely has enough of a track record.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, he's earned that. I mean, he's earned not outside of being black. Like those how well those shows have performed, the other shows have performed, bruh is owed that.
Most definitely.
You know, so salute to them. Congrats on another impactful release.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to get into why you just coming to terms with Nick Cage being a fucking GOAT. Bro, why you late to the party, son?
Because, man, it wasn't even being late to the party. It was just I got reintroduced to it. Like
you watch Con Air and Face Off.
I wish it would have been something I went back
and
on.
Gone to 60 Seconds, nigga.
Just all nigga, it was. Nah, he got joints.
Hits. But he got some bullshit.
Next though. With he definitely got bullshit.
Hey, can we talk about Raising Arizona?
Yeah.
Nick Cage is special, bro.
He really is, man.
Are we alone on this island, Nick Cage Island?
Nah. We went to go see him speak. It was me and a few friends.
Uh-huh.
And
wait, what year was this? Because Nick Cage been spun out for a few years.
No,
now.
This was like
this was recently?
3 years ago.
Oh yeah, he's been spun out. He's been spun out for the last 3 years for sure.
So, and he straight up said when it comes to him and acting, he was like, I'm only going to do something. He said, no matter if people kill me for it or love me for it, the way I'm going to act every time, it's going to be all the way 100.
Yeah.
He was like, there's no middle for me.
Yeah.
So
you could tell.
Like, whatever character I go into.
What brought you?
Impressive, bro. That's where I got my appreciation from, because I watched Vengeance. Which had to come out they had to come out either 2020 or 2019.
I haven't seen a Nick Cage movie.
That's what I mean. I found
on 2010. Nigga, I ain't gonna hold you
on demand, bro. But I saw it.
He was there. He was
fully there, bro. Storyline and all.
All right.
And it was like it's not a B. It's kind of like a B movie, but it's definitely like a straight to DVD. Everything right now is straight to the video right now. But it was one of those, and the storyline was kind of simple to follow. It was one of those where somebody else gets in trouble, and he's a cop, and he ends up being the person who basically fixes everything, basically. So kind of like a Taken type of thing that you would go through. But it was just I started off watching it 'cause I was watching it at my grandpa's house, and I started off watching it and it was like, bro, this man really clicked on this Nicolas Cage movie, because he looked at all the titles on there and he said, oh, Nicolas Cage.
And that's why
it took zero time between him deciding that. I was like,
oh,
bro, shit. I ain't seen Nicolas Cage. And okay, well, shit, I guess we're gonna watch this. And this is for Easter dinner, so I'm just sitting down watching it. And I'm like, and as I started getting through the movie, like midway through, I'm like, damn, I do like this nigga. And then by the end, I'm like, I'm down there standing up like, hell yeah, Nicholas. Bro, and I'm like, and this movie was not that type of movie to be like, being this interested in the fact that Nicolas Cage overly performed in this. But it was just that, it was one of those storylines that it was so low, it was a low budget film, super low, other group on the rest of the cast was like, people that this is probably their first few movies that they've done. And bro was in there being Nicolas Cage with all of these amateurs and pulled this whole story together. Without him, this movie never gets lit.
With all these amateurs, don't be the nigga in the movie calling the other niggas amateurs. And that's probably how Nick Cage walks on those B-movie sets, though. It's like, I'm here. You guys follow my lead. I'll carry you.
Bro.
Like, Nick Cage appreciation.
The only dude that got a trailer, the rest of the cast is in one trailer. And then Nick is just off there to the side in the woods somewhere. He just come out, do his shit, walk back in his shit.
Jesus.
But it was hey, he did his thing in there. I mean, by the end, I was like, I've seen this over and over and over again, and it never gets old. Ever. Like it will never get old to me. Vengeance stories, like something happened to somebody, and there's a cat from the side that just happened to see this whole thing take place or happen to them, and all of a sudden they're
looped into this.
They're looped right into it, and they they make everything right.
Yeah. No, I guess that's what this is all sort of brought in, the quarantine and being locked in place and the shit we get to see.
Con Air is definitely one of those.
Con Air is special.
Con Air is special.
Con Air is Con Air, U.S. Marshals, Fugitive. There's those movies that I've seen a million times that if it's on, no matter where it's at in the sort of sequence, I'll watch it. I just have to. And that's what I've been doing since we've been on lockdown. And it got me to thinking, like, how long this shit is going to last and how long it's sustainable. And we started debating about it the other day over dinner. And I was like, yo, they're not, I don't give a fuck what's going on. They're not canceling Black Friday or Christmas. Ain't no way. There's no way. Mm-hmm. It's too much at stake. What you got?
I was just thinking about like the times that we're in right now, and was folks more likely to mark up things, or were they more likely to
mark them down,
sell them, like put everything for sale
at cost?
Because
at cost,
yeah, at cost.
Wayfair's having a closeout sale today. Who knew I was addicted to home furniture, home decor?
That's important. I might need to go look and see.
Get some sconces, some open shelving. What you think?
I'm not mad at that.
Oh,
what about one of them like them wall plants that you gotta grow?
Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
You got a green thumb on the way?
I have one in my room. Fuck you, bro.
Bro, the eyes, bro. I did not know.
You had no idea.
Yes, you no clue that this was actual
no
thing.
way of knowing it. Definitely have one in my room.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, are they likely to mark it up or mark it down? So
because I'm thinking of like, okay, for things that people really need right now, you can put 100% markup on it, and motherfuckers are still gonna have to buy it. Like, it doesn't, like, there's nothing they could do about it, and they'll still do it. Or you can just put a for sale sign on it, but keep it at your exact same price, but just mark it down from a price that you. A crazy ass number that you would have thrown out there. Just mark it, say it's slashed in half from that, but it's the actual price that you want to sell it for.
Well, isn't that how sales work?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I put Black Friday in there, because that's exactly how Black Friday works. Yeah. It's the exact same price of things, but you just put a for sale over it, and people run to it.
Usually, the items that are at retail are the crazy markup, anywhere from like 200 to 1,000% markup. So that headroom allows for the crazy. So you'll see something half off of the markup price, not half off of the wholesale price. You know what I'm saying? So wholesale, like, there's always money to be made, and the longer certain shit sits on shelves and you got to store it, you got to stock it, and you're not able to filter in the next product, It's money you're losing.
Yeah, it depends on how people have to touch it before it actually makes it to the store.
So you're like, all right, bro.
You got two manufacturers, then everybody got the cut of it.
If I can go do a 50 to 80% sale on my markup price and this motherfucking go, I still made a profit. It's fascinating how that shit works. I just personally have a feeling that it ain't no way in hell that the country is going to, because if that were the case, this Christmas would have been shut down. Like, no one should have been traveling this Christmas, and we wouldn't be in this predicament. Like, if they would have cut off travel to China this past Christmas, we'd be singing a completely different tune. But
that's one to think about, though.
Consumerism and capitalism just runs this fucking country, dog.
That's one to think about, though. Like, for the flights, though. Like, for the flights, what are those going to be like?
Bruh, how can that market go back to what it was when flights had gotten down to like $40? You mean to tell me you can afford to sell a $40 plane ticket and you're going to go back up to $800?
But they got to make up for all the lost revenue.
And the whole world has to make up for the revenue loss. Nigga, y'all not special.
They don't get to be the ones that
we already done seen that you can afford to put a plane in the air, nigga, at $30 tickets. I'm not buying it no more. There's nothing you can tell me at that rate to convince me that you need to overcharge me the way that you are. And then it's crazy how plane tickets work, and then how if your search engine works, where if you search for it on one site, nigga, the other site knows to mark it up for you. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, that's why it's very important to be able to do business between Monday and Thursday.
Facts.
If you can do business between Monday and Thursday somewhere else, my nigga, you are getting a steal on your plane tickets.
A steal.
Don't do shit over the weekend,
man.
But that's good. We still got to figure out where we're going. First time we can, not the first day that we can get out, but eventually,
after everybody go experiment and see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, once y'all start, spreading bacteria to each other, after that group, that one, that's the group I want to be in, not the first group, the second group. Yeah.
I had a question for the group. It's not really a question; it's a thought. But the question will be: how often have you encountered this person? I had to write it. Abuse people mask their feelings and other sentiments that manifest the reality that they want to avoid. That makes sense?
One more time.
Abuse people mask their feelings and other sentiments that manifest the reality that they want to avoid. So,
yeah.
So, just and by abused, I mean just having gone through something,
correct,
and then pivoting into a completely new circumstance, and then ultimately projecting on to the new situation what they were trying to avoid, and that what they were trying to avoid just manifests because they projected that shit in there. I don't know how many times I've experienced that. I don't know how many times I've been the culprit in that shit, but it's a reoccurring theme, nigga. And the more you start to converse with people and start talking about experiences and shit, it's all rooted in this like paralyzing ass fear of not being seen ultimately. And I had a couple of unique conversations in and around that this week, where it was like, damn, that amount of self-awareness is like so powerful, but the amount of space, if you need it, because some people don't need it. If you need that amount of space, like how valuable that shit is. But ultimately, how selfish it might be to ask somebody for that type of space, right? Or to demand it up front. Have y'all experienced that shit at all on any level?
I think it's definitely more rare for it to be demanded up front. I think that's a super rare occurrence.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing if it is demanded?
No, that'd be dope for somebody to be that aware to then bring that to the forefront and introduce somebody to that from the beginning and allow them to make the decision. That they're in the same place to be able to allow that to be a thing. Mm-hmm. So that right there is the healthy way. Yeah. If you are still having to deal with some things. That will probably trickle into your relationship, but the lack of that, and then having a conversation of that is still, I would say, beneficial. Once you are aware. But the most damaging one is everyone that's going around here that ain't even acting as if that's a thing. Yeah. But still. Having this heavy level of toxicity towards people that love you the most and show you the most love. Damn. I think that part is like super damaging and could be the complete answer to relationships, but you don't take that first step that you're talking about.
Yeah. Of just being aware. And communicating that. Yeah.
First things first, just become aware.
Just become aware.
Just come aware. If you become aware to begin with, then from there, the natural progression is for you to present that to people. Somehow, some way. It'll start to exude out of you, bro. Yeah. Like there's no way to keep that in once you hit that part of awareness. But what people do is that they run from that out of fear. Yeah. And then you never get to that step. So all you do is just keep recycling the fear and the toxicity towards these people over and over and over again until you lose them ultimately. You know what I mean? And if you ultimately lose them, then you only tack that on to your person. Yeah.
No, that it's a trip though, because it's like there are these special people, myself included though. That run the risk of never realizing the things that they're seeking, because of how likely we are to undermine it, right? Mm-hmm.
Completely.
And not even out of this like wild demonstrative sort of approach. It's subtle and really, really sneaky, and then it takes some catastrophic loss or some catastrophic experience where you go, holy fuck, what just happened? Was I responsible for that? Like, nigga.
That's definitely a stage.
You know? I found it fascinating. I find it fascinating and want to continue to think about, process, and try to evolve past and evolve out of. And I don't know where it stems from, and I don't even know if that's a thing for people across the board. But it came up because watching that Bill Gates doc, the decoding Bill series on Netflix, and I think in the second episode it starts to break down how he and his wife met, and just his approach. And
how did Bill meet his wife? I would like to know how.
Based on the smile on your face, it's exactly how you imagine it. Awkward as fuck, but his awkwardness being his truth made him hella appealing, because bro got to have Asperger's, because he just he's so smart. I really don't have time to like do the whole mind manipulation shit with you. I like you. I'm really into you. I hope you fuck with me too. I'm kind of awkward. Bet. So it's so funny when he's explaining it and how they met. So there's a convention that Microsoft is having. It's only 2 seats open. The CEO of the company is walking down to sit by himself, and it's just 1 seat open next to the pretty girl at the company who just got there. And he just sits next to her, sparks up a conversation, and asks her out, and she's like, nah, I got something to do. And then happened to run into her in the parking lot. And she's still just trying to curb, bro. Like, it's like, nah, like not at all. And so she's like, yeah, can we go out in 2 weeks? And she's like, 2 weeks? Like, that's hella far away in Mass Pacific. Call me the day before and see how you feel. Like, yeah, like, call me the day before. So he she lost. That's not spontaneous enough, is what she said. And so she said she got home that night and got a call, and he was like, "Yo, is this spontaneous enough?" Like, but it's just like
look at Bill Game.
Look at you feel me?
You know what I mean?
But then the conversation, he was like, yeah, she was dating a whole bunch of people at the company. She's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like he was able to compute that in his mind and just like and not have it was just information to him.
Right. Makes sense.
But then Bill Gates or not, I found it fascinating that they could avoid, even with the success, the access, and the wealth, they too couldn't avoid him being way more committed to his work than he ever could be to a relationship. Like, not even they could avoid that shit. She's like, yo, I'm here alone with the kids. This shit is trash. I'm in this big ass house, like going through it. He like, man, what the fuck you want from me? Like a real nigga. So it got me to thinking, because the thought that I was having was like, I for whatever reason, I was just processing that as like, that's something that's cultural. And even with it being cultural, is like a specific part of the world that's experiencing that. And it's just not the case. Everybody kind of goes through that.
The cold part about that, I was thinking about, like, in rich households, what they present in there for that particular issue. Like, when they present, like, well, I'll just give my wife a person to bide their time.
I'll give my wife a person.
Yeah, like, shit, I got enough here. And then just give them somebody to occupy their time throughout the day. Like, oh shit, you're bored. I get it. I'm off doing work. I really care about that way more than I care about this family.
That's another. Oh, we can't. I'm not happy.
Like, I'm just gonna shove this person over there for you,
bruh. Never mind. Let's not do that. That'll get dark fast.
Oh man. All right. Well, shit. Since we was already on that topic, that's a good one. I had something for you guys. A good guy that comes across as a bad guy is now fighting to do nice deeds.
The good guy that comes across as a bad guy is now fighting to do nice deeds.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Tell me how many times that has been a thing, because I was really...
The good guy that comes across as a bad guy.
I was really, like, thinking about this super tough, because a lot of times there are really good guys out there. Like, really good guys. But they're labeled as a bad guy. They believe that they're a bad guy because they do like the person that they've courted, but they are unable to like them more towards love. So they're keeping them along, but what they now they're labeled as a bad guy to everybody that she's around or he's around. Yeah. But they do nice deeds in order to, because they are a good guy, so they do nice deeds to overly show off to compensate for how bad they are for this particular relationship. So instead of being like, I'm bad for you, we got to end this in order for you to be able to fully live your life, and for me to stop acting as if I can do better for you in this relationship than what obviously I can do, because you're not my person. You're not the person I'm meant to be here for. So instead of having that conversation, you continue to drag each other along, and you just end up being in these situations where you're just doing nice deeds, like trying to figure out in your head, fuck, all right, she's mad at me again for something that I did naturally. Fuck, let me figure out, I need to do a nice deed. Get you flowers. Hire somebody to make some dinner. Just like, we need to go out to dinner, go to this fancy restaurant. I'm gonna do all this stuff, put rose petals on the ground, all this stuff like this. I do not like you like that. Obviously.
We've had that conversation though, like the importance of like in a relationship from a male's perspective. It really is hard for a woman to grasp.
But I'm saying that like the next level to that though is just the fact that that's not the right person for you. Like it's just not the right person, and we found ourselves stuck in these.
How hard? You just said it though, G. People people give each other kids or demand kids or go have kids just to fill a impossible void.
That's what I mean.
Like it's hurt. There are broken ass people having fucking kids, bro.
That's what I mean.
Like broken.
That's
So if
what
you
I
think
mean.
about it in a relationship and that codependency that comes, the ability to confuse codependency with love is so easy to do.
Yes.
I'm guilty of it. I've done it before, multiple times, my nigga. Where it's like, oh, I'm in love. No, you not, nigga. Are you kidding me? There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
You and this person are not compatible on any level, and you still just like because you. Man, what I'm invested in it now. I can't go back. That is not how a relationship works.
Yeah, like I courted you in the first place, so how could I not have that feeling anymore?
Yeah,
easily, bro. Like you don't know everything about that person yet, but that part of that stemmed from I don't know if y'all listen into the Jessie Reyes' song album, but the song she has for
go ahead, my bad.
the song that she has for Bad Guy, where she's talking about I wish that I could like because you are a bad guy and I'm a good girl. I wish I could therefore be a bad guy, so at least we'll be fighting on the exact same side. I was thinking it now, it's like, fuck, that's hella true from the woman's perspective. I get that. Or even from the male's perspective, this isn't gender specific on this. But I get that part. But the easier track to that would be that y'all aren't compatible.
Yeah.
So there's no need to fight on either one of the sides.
At all.
So it's a matter of like, I don't know, bro. I was going down a crazy.
No, you own it.
I was going down like a crazy ass road on this because I was thinking so hard about fixing past transgressions and
For yourself.
for myself, and then also just thinking about
From feeling guilty or just from a different a clearer understanding of what took place or what transpired?
Both, man, because I think
you feel better equipped to articulate what you couldn't in.
most definitely.
Yeah,
That's across the board on just all parts of my life.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking more so on like why it takes so long to end the phase of going into like the relationship stage now as opposed to then, where all these interactions come across as high stake situations as opposed to it not being that before. And that comes down to past transgressions where you could, depending on who you're talking to, there's not one, I would say, hopefully, there's not one person that would say that I'm a bad guy. But I can see how you could paint me as one if the communication lacked in
depth, if there was no closure,
of that, you know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking of.
True. Percentage wise, both of you guys, how many of your exes do you think would classify you as a bad guy or a good guy?
Shit, at some point in time, I would probably say all of them.
But now you say otherwise?
I would say it was both. I would be like, damn, Two-Face. Where like it's,
they see they got to see both sides.
Yeah, you'll get to see both sides.
I feel like that's a healthier representation than being just classified as just a good guy, though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you walked away, especially if you walk away thinking that all of them classify you as a good guy, you're probably crazy. And then if they didn't get to experience both sides of you, it probably wasn't real.
Right. Right. Completely.
I know I'm nuts. So everyone that I can say was like my actual girlfriend, like we had an actual meaning relationship. They seen Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So,
but I don't think so. So maybe I'm asking it wrong because I don't think that classifies as a bad guy. The Two-Face, the Dr. Jekyll, Gemini here. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, but I didn't. But I didn't did some stuff though. I did some stuff where it's definitely classified on the fucked up side. But I know naturally though I come from a good place, so I don't intent wise. But there was moments where I for sure wasn't thinking about the other person. Most definitely, that was definitely a selfish moment on my part. So the bad guy portion of things is not taking another being's emotional state into consideration. That's where the bad guy part comes into place. Because if you're being selfish in any particular situation when you're dealing with another person, and responsible, where us as human beings, we shouldn't be as responsible for somebody else's mental state as we are, but that's just how things fall. But with that being said, it only takes one really bad fuck up for that whole thing to completely change in your mind. When you start thinking about all your past transgressions over one. You know what I mean? Like, you could think about how you deal with everyone over just one really bad one. So that's just kind of like the road that I was going down.
Damn. What was the? I don't know. It's crazy how it's crazy how frequencies work, because I too have been in a similar space to like reliving certain shit and trying to recant or recount my actions to trying to equate whether the good guy or the bad guy. But I had to land on that's a struggle that I've always had. I don't know if you've had. I don't think you've had. I'm a guess that you haven't had it, but I've struggled in the past of wanting to always land on the good guy side, not wanting to offend anybody, and so it's to the masking. That's why I asked that question. You mask your truth and then ultimately manifest the reality that you don't want to create. So, and try not to offend nobody. Offend everybody on the way out, nigga. Knocking everything down. Like, it's like, bro, you can just leave. This can just be over. You don't have to be Tasmanian devil on your way out. And I, for whatever reason, am like I said, extremely guilty of manifesting the reality that I'm trying to avoid ultimately. Not want to offend anybody, then you offend everybody, you know? So,
definitely. Yeah. That's where I completely have shifted in my entire life, where everything moves in the same direction. So it doesn't matter like how much is lost along the way. Everything is moving in one direction. That's it. That's all. So taking in all that from the past is how you're able to for sure be able to look out for things going forward. But the idea behind it was that there's no way for you to truly be on that road without recognizing where your faults lie. And that's exactly where those faults were lying, I would say. So that was really where I was on that road, because I was like, bro, you have to see the full picture. And I'm a big walk a straight line person and be able to see it all, you know, everything in the peripheral. I'm a big person that I'm big on doing that type of stuff. Yeah. So there's only one way of being able to do that, and that is you have to be super hard on yourself. When it comes to things that you do and have done in order to be able to truly get the most out of it. So you gotta look into the deepest, darkest spots. So I think that's like where I was at with that one.
Damn, man. 2020 quarantine is for real 2020.
Hey man, go find them, man.
You know,
go find them.
Damn, that just fucked me up. A lot of this shit has been sort of appreciation for time, space, and process. I got to help my young player partner Junior with his homework. I think Junior is in the first grade, and possibly the second. But I was laughing because I was in the room when he was getting helped initially, and the frustration when you ask a kid something like very specific and they're like, bro, I don't know, like looking at you with this blank stare. Mm-hmm. I immediately, like watching him get helped with homework, I had the super flashback of like how stressful homework was with me. Because I think I might have slight dyslexia that's never been diagnosed, and in a supreme lack of confidence at that age, especially in and around retaining information. I remember how crippling that fear used to be around reading out loud, reading comprehension, math, spelling. Nigga, I'd get terrified, but it was based on like some of the homework helping experiences was just traumatic as fuck. Yeah. Where you got exhausted, tired ass parents trying to help you, and you looking like deer in the headlights. Meanwhile, your sisters are fucking geniuses. So that wasn't helping. Like Ariana and Alyssa just were really good at homework. Meanwhile, I'm like, huh? My poor mom and dad, they had to have thought I was slow because Hooked on Phonics cuz came to the house. Remember the nigga that used to sell books door to door? He definitely came to the house and they did like this random like CIA test on me, bro, and I probably scored hella low. I'll never forget any of this shit. And my mom, I bring this up to my mom. My mom's like, that didn't happen. I was like, bro, I dreamt this. Who dreamt the Hooked on Phonics nigga coming to the house? Like, I remember them coming, you know? And so I'm watching Junior get helped with his homework, and I'm like, oh no, they can't do this to not him too. Yeah. And so luckily it just happened to where it was just him and I downstairs, and he needed to finish it. I was like, come on, man, let me help you finish. And it was like just being patient, but restoring the confidence. So it's like, it's okay to sit up. And reminding like you know it because you just said it to me. And he's like, oh, I do know it. But then going above and beyond just what's on the paper. Because the words were like survey and tally chart or something manny like that. Like what? Like what? Yeah, there's one thing to know what these things are and to be able to like repeat, like see them and repeat them, but to really know what they are. Yeah. And so context. Just context, just like in the span of a conversation, because Brez for I think he just turned 6 or 7, but he's hella smart. And the conversation that you can have, and kids never get the credit for how smart they are. People kind of downplay them and all this grown up talk. Nah, let's have a conversation. So we're just having a conversation, and I thought about it. Well, shit, we got other stuff to do. I'll just bring these words up in different contexts while we go do other shit. So we're in the backyard cleaning up. And I go, hey, remember that word survey? And we start having a conversation. He's like, oh, okay. And then there was a data was the other word, information. And he's like, oh, okay. And just processing it. And so throughout the day, and so by the end of the day, he just knew him, you know. But it was a process. So that shit just got me thinking about the innovativeness as a parent and as a teacher. Like, it's just the education system is just stale as fuck, bro. It's just stale. There's nothing wrong with it other than it just stale and hasn't evolved at all. Meanwhile, these kids got access to all, like, these kids are far smarter than I was my age, and being able to use tablets, and some of the shows that they watch on YouTube and shit are like really great shows in terms of the information that they're regurgitating. And I started thinking about the importance of a Blue's Clues and a Gullah Gullah Island and all that shit. It's like, damn, those are educational shows. And I didn't even think about it like that. But how much space children need and how much patience. The world is not set up for us to be patient with our children. We're stressed out, credit card debt, mortgages, rent, taxes, all the shit that don't let your relationship be fucked up too on top of all that. And then trying to educate your children, and not just like intellectually, but like emotional intelligence. Like I don't like the last thing I realized that like how important that would be for me is for the last thing from my kids' learning process to be associated with is stress and lack of confidence. This is a real thought that I had.
Yeah, the public school system is for sure behind, and that's gonna continue to be that way just because all that stuff is for profit. So as long as they can pass a student, then they'll get money for doing so for as many people as they can pass at any given time. So they got to show those numbers, and a good way to show those numbers is to teach them exactly what it is that is on those curriculums, like, and to the word. And like damn near you go in class and they put a board out and give you a book. Y'all got to share a book, whatever, and y'all just gonna read line for line this exact information, and like it's kind of sickening. But there's a few out there. So I got a good amount of friends that are teachers. Definitely see how much they put into it. I do appreciate them for doing that, especially like in the Oakland public system, all that stuff. They do a great job at that. But I don't know what the difference would be. Actually, I do know. I know exactly what it would be. Just knowing the difference between my upbringing with having public for elementary, and then from there going into the private school system.
Yeah.
And then like having siblings who unfortunately weren't able to do the exact same route, but going all the way through public, where they give up on you as early as possible. So as soon as they can give you away to something is when they give up on you. So that's as early as middle school they give up on you. Just like whatever your goals, dreams, aspirations are, all that.
Yeah.
And they feeding what type of world you're going to outside of this playground. I mean, outside of this school. What kind of stuff is going on this playground or on the school grounds? You know, like it's a lot of stuff that you have to go through and duck and be a part of. Like I remember. Forget school. School is whatever. I'll tell you how I feel about school, but fuck school, bro. But I remember having to catch the bus to the BART to the bus to get to middle school, and
the bus to the BART to the bus.
Yes,
Gotcha.
to get to middle school.
That's hella responsibility,
bro. Hella shit.
School.
But then, and then doing that same thing to get back from middle school, and the amount of times that I would go to there, and at the top of the day they gave me like $10 or $15 or something like that, and it's just like I don't know, and you gotta pay for your lunch at that school. It's not even like there's no way about that. So really, that's just going to my travels. So the amount of like figuring it out, and like across from our school was a bread store that you can get free bread, and then just drizzle like a little honey on it or whatever. Nigga, that was the meal. You know what I mean? Like to do the travel there and then do the travel back. My meal was that damn honey on that bread. Yeah. That's what I fuck with. You know what I mean? But I remember the travel was so much harder than the actual school itself. Like, school was whatever, but getting on and off that travel, because in that travel was when you were mixed in with the public. Like you going to like a private situation. Like it wasn't really private for middle school, but it was out the way. Private was high school, but traveling that far to go to a better school, but still getting on the public transit and being around all the neighborhood folks, and like all the problems that you'll come across with all the other folks that just came from a school that didn't give a fuck, as opposed to you come from a school that slightly gives a fuck, but you're a part of the statistics on who really cares about you in particular. So mixing those energies together, and then being on that transportation to get back, and that shit was like a jungle. And I would say that that's a lot more worrisome for a lot of folks, is just the travel, I would say, is nuts. So that was. Yeah.
No. That's but that's that experience and that perspective can't be lost. Nor should it be, right? Because the amount of focus and trust that and anxiety that may loom in around that, because moms just ain't have a choice. Like, I need you to get to and from school. This is the option we have. So I'm gonna put my baby on public transportation by himself every day and trust that he can get to and from. Because that is the only choice we have. And the amount of savvy and street smarts that is adopted and adapted in order to survive is a level of intellect. It is. There's no other way to process that. That's a means of surviving, right?
Character builder, man.
Character builder. But there's no value placed on that in our society, and so when a child who doesn't learn like everyone else, because there's this blanket curriculum that you're going, hey, everybody has to learn this way. That's not how people work. Mm-hmm. Auditory, visual, it's all different. Some people are just process slower, just retain slower, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it is. Yeah. So compounding what already exists as a difference, compounding that with stress and yelling and all this other shit, just like that ain't helping nobody. You know, and so there's these blanket sort of general approaches applied to shit that ain't that general and that's not blanketed, right? It should just be a lot more structured and tailored to individual approaches and processes of learning. And we'd see even if it was just something as simpler as being as there being more of communication between the parent, a more protected communication between the parents and the teachers. I know that that's a thing in certain schools, but I know in the schools that I went to, a lot of the teachers were surprised at how the way my mom went about how hands-on she was in tapping in with them. And how much freedom she allowed them to do. Nah, she's like, nah, he at school with you. Fuck you calling me for? You know, we can talk about other things, but don't call me to discipline. He's sitting right there in front of you. He disrespecting you in your class. You handle that. All right. And it was just like, I don't know. Just a thought I had. I'm ranting and raving.
No, that's right. That's
what we got? We got anything else? Did we miss anything?
I just got one thing, bro. And we ain't never gonna see New Mutants, man.
Oh damn, you did say that.
I'm so mad about that.
Why do you say that?
Because now the world is working against us watching New Mutants. Like New Mutants was supposed to come out, I think, in like 2017. I think that's the earliest that it was like.
Was the first day.
Yeah, like it was like they had a trailer for it back then, and they were shopping it as
supposed to
potential.
come out right after Logan.
Which would have been perfect timing. You know what I mean? Once we realized that it was Logan was R-rated and they were able to take it to where they took it to there. I get the pushbacks on making it scarier, but now we just got the world working against us, bro. Like it was supposed to come out, I think, in May. I think.
Yeah, and now they pushed it back to what 2022.
It might be further back than that. Yeah, we ain't getting it.
It's gonna happen.
Nah,
I'm calling it.
Nah, I'm mad, bro. See, now we're just building it up to it got to be amazing now. It's too many years.
Yeah, that's the thing that is messed up about that
one. Like that shit better be next level. Like it better be hella scary. They better be doing some wild shit.
I want to see a little kid throw up. They so scared,
bro.
Jesus, Lex, that was dark.
For real.
And he talking about for real. You guys are both sickos.
Yeah. Shit, I almost threw up the first time I saw Child's Play 3 when they was rebuilding.
Which one is 3?
When they was rebuilding, bro, in the factory. They was
cleaning the yeah.
When they were doing when they melted, bro, and they had to melt them from the second one.
That's not when Andy goes to the army.
That is.
Yeah.
3?
But in the beginning is when they picked up his body out of the factory and then his blood poured into the thing and then they had to recreate his shit and then he yelled at the camera.
So 1, he's with his mom. 2, he goes to the foster home. And then 3, he gets sent to the military.
Yeah.
Got it.
2 is still the most lit, but yeah, 3 is.
2.
3 at the beginning was like, fuck, that's nuts. And I was like, I don't know if I can watch this now.
You're going 2. I think I would go 2.
No, 2 is for sure the Ross.
Yeah, 2.
One is the dopest because it was cool to see that they were able to do work that long before they even presented bruh as an option. But the second one though is just really like that's the one I connect with.
It's a bulletproof story.
Oh, it's lit.
3 has holes, 1 has holes. Rightfully so. It's the first one, but the 1 is great. 3 is great.
1 through 3 is great. They did a great job on all 1 through 3.
Is 4 Seed or Bride of Chucky? Bride, and then Seed.
Bride wasn't bad. Seed was a fucking monstrosity.
Yeah.
Like I'm so mad about them doing that shit. But
did you watch Code of Chucky?
I did. I watched Coat. I watched the one before that one.
How many of them are there? Jesus.
There's 9 of them, 8 of them.
They're on.
I tapped out at
6.
Seed.
I think there are 7.
7.
Yeah.
And then they're about to do the series.
The series should be dope.
Yeah,
Because they're taking that back to the beginning.
Netflix. Who's getting it?
I
don't know.
Sci-Fi, right? I think it's Sci-Fi. Got it.
I don't know.
But when I met the writer and director, and he was talking about being excited about the show because he said he finally gets to do it in long form and really go into like the mental state of even the serial killer to the mom to the kid and just all that. So
That should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I hope they do it justice.
Oh, the originators will. They usually do pretty well. Except for Seed, whoever the hell had control over that, shoot them. But the other ones, though, you're good to go. That's right when it. Nah, I can't even talk about that. Because that was right when that movement started, and like now we had a little.
What did he say? The reason he started doing that is because he noticed that his fan base, because Bride, Seed, all those is him independently. And he was saying he was noticing that his fans like more of the comedy of the Chucky movies. And so since he's independent, he needed those first 2 to get that money right so then he could really make them the way he wanted to.
That makes sense. That makes sense. He kind of sacrificed.
So he gave what
bit.
the fans really liked about those and how crazy they can go. So
Damn.
That's not the real fans, though.
It's not the real fans. We've been at it for a while. Not mad at it. Think we needed it too. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Hey man, we don't only no. It's actually still people still going. How do y'all feel
About
everything going on in the world?
just regular. I feel bad because and nothing's changed, and so I want to feel away, but I just seem like I don't know. Other than not being like I'd probably be in LA, maybe would have hit DC by now, and Europe would have hit Europe, but other than not being able to travel, I'm still able to like make hella shit. So I don't feel suppressed at all. Anyway, I don't know. How about you guys?
I'm feeling good other than what Elle brought up. No New Mutants, but that happens.
I have to remind everybody about that.
You good?
Huh?
How you feel?
I'm good. I'm about to go back into the newsroom bag, and I think after that I'm going into Dexter.
Don't do Dexter. Don't do Dexter.
Nah, Dexter was good all the way up to the last episode.
That's what I'm saying. I never like even more because I expected it. Game of Thrones had been on some bullshit for a little bit.
Like they prepared you for it.
They prepared me for some bullshit. Dexter just went. I was like, wait, what just happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really let down by that.
I know they tried to leave it open for if they ever wanted to bring it back up, but still, that was trash. But up till then, no. So that might be my wave because I don't know anything new right now that I'm all that interested in. Did you watch the last Dave episode?
The newest one,
Pipe.
No, I think I watched because that would have been 8. Mm-hmm. No, so I only watched 7. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. That and I'm caught up on Better Call Saul. They bodied this season. Salute to them. I still regret saying that stupid shit about it competing with Breaking Bad. Like I severely take that back. However, they're in the part of the story where it's about to start connecting in full to Breaking Bad. And you're like, yo, all right, this is dope. It's like getting close to that timeline to when Walt and them get in the picture. So, it's probably another full season before that happens in entirety. It may happen at the end of this season though, because Saul is like he's finally completely changed his name, and now he's face to face and a friend of the cartel for real. So you get to see how he starts getting, like when the scenes where he has all the money in the wall at the end of Breaking Bad, you get to see how he even gets there. But are y'all watching that shit? Y'all not watching?
I do, but
Watching what?
I always end up catching the next season when it comes on Netflix. But I think I'm about to just go ahead and watch it.
Watch it, yeah. It's great, man. I'm really impressed with the.
This is season 5 for them.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're towards the end now.
Yeah, because they're towards the end.
They're only gonna do 6, right?
Yeah. How many episodes are they into season 5?
I just watched episode 8, so there's 2 more.
Yeah, because I think he said he was only gonna do 5 or 6 seasons of that, and then he was gonna be done. But he said there was a whole prequel story that they always wanted to tell with Saul. So
they have to, because it's such a fascinating character, and they took it to depths that I didn't even think that they could. Shit that you never got from his character. So they start all the way at the beginning.
Yeah,
like
and
all
that's
the
what
way
I like
through.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. So anything y'all interested in watching this week? Like anything that's really on y'all radar?
The new episode of that, I'm gonna watch Dave. I guess I'll catch 2 episodes this week because I didn't watch the new one. The MJ shit tonight. It's like 3 or 4 things tonight. Insecures tonight. MJ.
Oh yeah, Insecure.
Did you watch episode 1?
Yeah. I'm glad they outlined finally the partner.
Who, Molly?
Yeah, the partner. No, just the partner that folks will have. Like the women will have it, guys will have it. But the one partner that, shit ain't going well for them, so they want to,
sabotage you.
They want to knock you down too.
Yep.
Like they're good. They're good when everything's going great
for them.
For them, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that's an important person to bring up. So I'm glad they outlined that.
Yeah.
Even if it's like your best partner, like it's for sure.
Yeah, but a lot of the backlash I saw for that episode, I thought it was funny because it was a lot of
Lawrence's movie.
No.
First off, Lawrence chick is, man.
Yeah, but no,
That's
a lot of the backlash, G, was a lot of people didn't like them pointing that out. And then I was like, oh, y'all don't like reality TV, real reality TV. Y'all don't like the mirror being held up. Like,
what they didn't like about it?
Because it's fucking true, and a lot of them are that person, or a lot of them have that person in their life that they don't want to get rid of. That was a bug out in general to see that shit and see how people were responding to that in this new season.
I was thinking it might have been just like they didn't like it for that storyline because they don't like them going like against each other. I thought it was gonna be like some wild like black women gotta stick together or some bullshit.
No, that too, but that's where I commend storytellers like Issa for knowing that that's a thing and still understanding that while the representation and the narratives need to be shifted, there's also truth to that shit too.
I don't know, man.
The people that tear you down are the people that are closest to you. You never see that shit coming.
Completely.
You never see it coming.
I mean, it's possible to be.
It's who we give the power to.
It's possible to be a black woman and be trash. It's possible.
Oh,
it's possible to be.
Turn the camera off.
It's possible to be.
Turn everything off. This nigga's wild.
It's possible to be a black male and be trash. Like
okay.
it's possible
there
to
we
be.
go.
It's
Say
possible to be in the black community
and be
trash. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm sorry, bro. Everybody is not kings. Everybody is not queens. It's fully on how you act. Are you acting like a king or queen? Nah, you just want to be. You just want to be held up as one, huh? Interesting. I'm interested now. I'm intrigued.
We might edit the whole podcast and just have this clip.
That's all we need.
That's all we need for this. You don't have to go listen to anything else. Just there you go.
I'm intrigued.
I think that's the perfect place to end.
On that note, this has been another episode of Meet the Brave. We'll see you next week.
Love.
Yes.